Good morning. It is a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. Carson Weekly back with us. Let's talk about the Ben McDonald look you got going on, by the way.
Haircut, man. I changed it up.
What's that all about? When'd you?
So all right. So everyone knows I had the middle part. I had the middle part since.
I don't know if everyone knows that.
I've had it since I was like 15, and I just texted my barber and was just like, "Hey, Miss Dawn, what if we changed it up?"
All right.
I like it. I think it's a little more professional, you know.
It's not quite the full-on flat top. Like it's
right. There's a little more like.
I almost would prefer. Like it would be exciting to me if you came in here with the haircut that we could set our watch to. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I think I might like it. I will see. Well, I gotta feel it.
It's just gotta. You're so used to see me with the old cut. You gotta let it grow on you a little
God, every time I see Ben McDonald, I think to myself, that's somehow what a man is supposed to look like. I'm not sure why, but I'm convinced it's what a man is supposed to look like.
He's like 6'7" too.
Yeah, that definitely has a lot to do with it.
Like, wow.
And that like slight Cajun accent.
Oh, it makes it, again. I've said it a million times. I just want to do Thanksgiving at his house, and yet he still never invited me. Just a little bit awkward. I brought it up a lot, and I've never been able to cop. He responds like everything else that we post about on Twitter, but he's never responded when I bring up how much I want to do Thanksgiving at his house, which is a little disappointing to me, if I'm being honest.
Maybe it's because
like,
you didn't offer to bring anything.
I would. What? How could I improve a Thanksgiving at Ben McDonald's house? Come on, man. No way.
I guess just bring like potato chips or something. Like
Sure, I'll bring some
normally
potato
Old Bay cheese
chips.
girls. You bring some Old Bay cheese girls.
I'm sure that's going to improve Thanksgiving at Ben McDonald's house. I think I have put it out there on Twitter about 100 times. I will happily fly down to Baton Rouge, spend Thanksgiving with the McDonald's. That would be wonderful, but yet I have not gotten the invite. All right, really busy show today. We will catch up with the number 2 overall prospect in all of baseball, Jackson Holliday, currently with the Aberdeen Ironbirds, where he has just murdered high A-level pitching this season. We will chat with him about his continued progress throughout the Orioles system. Also coming up this morning, we're going to preview the Blue Jays. Our buddy Caleb Joseph will join us, former Orioles catcher, now Blue Jays broadcaster. The legendary El Presidente. I was at the game on Saturday. He was throwing the first pitch. Dennis Martinez was back in town. We'll catch up with him, see what he saw from the Birds this weekend. Jena Antonucci, we were just talking about her yesterday. She is the trainer of Arcangelo, the Belmont winner, the first ever female trainer to win a Triple Crown race. Pretty amazing. We will talk. Oh, hello. We will talk to her about that. And Carson will provide his first life hack of the summer. That's going to be the segment that he's going to be responsible for this summer, is life hacks. I requested one involving a pineapple last week because I also wanted to try my friend Tracy's daughter, Kadena, was tweeting about the idea. Who brought the you got the Old Bay.
Yes.
She was tweeting about the idea of doing Old Bay and pineapple, and I said, well, say no more. This is basically how I want to live the rest of my life, is just trying things with Old Bay. So, yes, let's do that. And she was trying to explain it like, well, I was just trying to replace tahini. I'm like, no, stop. Shut your mouth. You don't have to. There's just random thing with Old Bay. That's good for us. You're thinking, she thinks she's come up with a life hack. Like by replacing tahini. We don't care about that. We don't care at all. We just want to try Old Bay on something. So we will do that this morning, as well as Carson's got a pineapple-related life hack in order to show us. So a lot to do on the program today. Today's show is brought to you by PressBoxOnline.com/offers. Go to PressBoxOnline.com/offers now and get $150 in bonus bets from DraftKings after placing your first $5 bet. See this and other great sportsbook offers at PressBoxOnline.com/offers. Orioles obviously were off last night. They will be back in action tonight as they open up the series against the Blue Jays. Dean Kramer is on the mound against Chris Bassett. I did see, did they announce the entire week's worth of pitchers? I know they announced today, tomorrow for sure.
It's Bradish tomorrow and then Wells.
And Wells on Thursday. So we still don't know about the idea of how they're going to handle. I guess the first part is they're not concerning themselves with skipping Wells right now and thinking about the innings. I said that's something they should think about. When we did the math, we were like, think about that for next week. For next week, think about Wells. The question is whether or not they throw Irvin on Friday or Saturday. Which day do they use? Because they could turn around and throw Gibson on Friday again if they wanted to.
And that would kind of set them up to pitch against Tampa.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that, to me, would make a little bit more sense than pitching Irvin on Friday and then having him lined up to start Wednesday against Tampa. If you're going to skip, particularly if you're going to try to skip Tyler Wells next week, it would make more sense for Gibson to get a start in Tampa than it would be for Irvin to make the start in Tampa. Although, again, he pitched well against the Royals. I'm not trying to suggest that Cole Irvin might not be able to, move into a role where he's a high, a quality starter for this team this season. But I think assuming that right now would be a mistake. So me personally, I would start Gibson on Friday and then start him again Wednesday in Tampa. And then who would that mean?
No,
Start
you would
the other
save
game?
Wells a start.
You would save Wells a start, but who would start the other game in
Bradish.
Tampa? Bradish would get the other
so
start.
right now,
it would be Kramer. It would go.
Kramer would pitch Sunday.
Kramer would be Sunday, right, and then Bradish on Tuesday, and then Gibson on
or Wells. Gibson or Wells would line up. For
Well, I'm saying if you're
right.
prioritizing skipping Wells, if that's the priority, is that using the 2 days off next week in order to take advantage of that with a likely innings limit coming for Wells at some point, then that's the way that I would. But again, I'm an idiot, so who cares what I'm thinking
Let's
about?
just start Tyler Wells every day.
You look, man, if it
and
works,
and then win.
That's what Stanford's doing,
Yes.
right? Like that's how they're handling their pitching.
200 pitches.
God damn, man. And it's a very difficult. Every time the internet gets into a shouting match about college baseball, all I want to say is you need to put this in the rules. You're asking these guys to not try to win. I guarantee when the coach talks to the pitcher before the game, the pitcher says, "Dude, I'll do anything to try to win a championship." When we say it's abuse, I hear you, but the young men are part of that because they want to win a championship with their buddies. That's a big deal to them. They don't know what their future is going to be. So the opportunity right now to try to win a College World Series and create a memory that will last forever, no matter what they do with their baseball life ahead of them, they may never do anything more than play single-A baseball. Winning a College World Series is a much bigger deal than that. So it's a difficult, when we talk about the morality of it, and these are debates that happen all the time on Twitter, that this is abuse and blah, blah, and I get it. I understand. Put it in the rules so that the pitcher can't say, "Dude, throw me until my arm falls off. I want to win a College World Series." Because they're going to say that. Winning a championship at the collegiate level is a very big deal. And these guys are not guaranteed to do anything more than to say, well, we need to protect their arm. Some of these guys will say, for what? What are you protecting my arm for? I'm going to be a 19th round draft pick, a 30th round draft pick. I might never pitch above Winston-Salem. Why are you worried about protecting my arm? Let me win a title. So it's a very difficult conversation. It's not something that's relevant to us, but it's a very difficult conversation every time I see that. And it's gotten a lot of traction this week because who was it from Stanford?
Quinn Matthews.
156
complete game, 156 pitch complete game on Sunday night.
Which, again, is insanity.
In an elimination game. So
Obviously, a very relevant story in college baseball locally yesterday as Maryland baseball coach Rob Vaughn has departed in favor of the Alabama job. It's a bummer. There's no way around that. Rob Vaughn was a very successful coach at the University of Maryland, and it's the third straight successful Maryland baseball coach to move on to greener pastures. In fairness, two of them moved on to the ACC and the SEC, and I just don't think you'll ever be able to prevent Maryland baseball coaches from moving on to the ACC or the SEC. I just sort of think that's the reality of the circumstances. John Sheff, of course, moved on to Virginia Tech. Now Rob Vaughn moves on to Alabama. The SEC baseball is another world. I don't think you'll be able to prevent moving on from Big Ten to SEC baseball ever. You can say, well, they need to make upgrades in the facilities. They need to make upgrades. Say whatever you want to say. The Alabama baseball job becomes available. I think there's, 20 jobs in the country where a person wouldn't say, yeah, that's a better job. That's definitively a better job. I don't know that there are even 20 where it's not, but that's not definitively a better job than the job that I have. The weather. Hello? The weather. It's part of what happened when you moved into the Big Ten. You are literally playing series in Minnesota in March and April, and Nebraska, and Illinois, and Indiana. whereas the ACC is playing in Florida and Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina. It's not hard to figure out. It's easier to recruit when you're going to play in warmer weather. The SEC, same deal. So it's sort of the reality of what you're facing. The one, however, with Eric Bakich left from Michigan, that was kind of a bummer. Like, that one would be one that you would point out and say that maybe that shouldn't be happening, but he also moved on to Clemson from there. And Michigan, you would say, has more of a financial investment, and we've seen Michigan make deep runs to the College World Series. But, that still seems like the type of thing that Maryland baseball should be capable of fixing, like, so that you don't lose coaches to other Big Ten jobs. The point of all this would be that the follow-up is, if there was a time where you're going to lose a successful head coach, it is obviously quite nice that, like, the moment we all saw this yesterday, every single one of us that knows anything about Maryland baseball said, well, it's Matt Swope. Like, that's the guy. And to the point I've said a lot, I'm almost confused as to why Matt Swope hasn't been hired by a major league franchise at some point. Talk to Lamont Wade. Talk to any of these dudes, any of these cats that have had success from Maryland baseball over the years, and ask them, as far as position players go, ask them why. And the first thing they will say, Matt Swope and his system, what he has done. Lamont Wade spent the entire, pandemic back in College Park. And then he turned into Late Night Lamont. And by the way, actually, this season is having a very nice season. Has become a far more complete baseball player this year as a leadoff hitter. Maybe the only first baseman to lead off in all of baseball. Talk to those cats about what Matt Swope means to them. Matt Swope is a Maryland baseball lifer. He was a Maryland baseball player. He's from Maryland. He cares deeply about this program. As my buddy Joey Flintz, who is the former Maryland baseball SID, and I were talking about yesterday, he's the one guy that maybe wouldn't turn down better offers. The way that we talk about Mike Loxley and how badly he wants to be the Maryland football coach and how much he cares about it, and I'm not trying to suggest that if Alabama wanted Mike Loxley, he wouldn't leave for Alabama, but to the point that he's not just looking for any job to move on from. Like, he's not just here to try to get himself his next job. This isn't me being stupid and saying, well, Mike Loxley would never leave Maryland football. The point is, he's not going to be the guy to get the Alabama football job if it were to come available. You understand what I'm saying, though? Like, Mike Loxley is not here to get his next job. He's here because he wants to be the football coach at Maryland, and it would take something extraordinary for him to leave Maryland. And Matt Swope is that guy. Maybe he would take the Alabama job. I don't know. The Alabama job is a really good job in baseball. Like, it's not Alabama football, but it's a damn good job. I don't know with certainty. But he ain't leaving for Michigan. He ain't leaving for Virginia Tech. Matt Swope is Maryland baseball. Has been around the program for forever. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's not a big deal to lose Rob Vaughn. It is a big deal to lose Rob Vaughn. But if there was ever a time to lose a successful head coach, it's nice to have someone internally to turn to that I think everybody was afraid you might end up losing at some point anyway, because that's how highly regarded he is. I really believed, Luke Jackson and I were texting about it yesterday, I had believed for some time that a major league team, when all of their players that came through, and by the way, not even just Maryland guys that never even went to Maryland, that just happen to be from this area, that have gotten hooked up with Matt Swope, when all of these guys are telling you about somebody, I would have thought that at some point a major league team would have stepped in and said, hey, you want to be our hitting coordinator? Does that sound interesting to you? So that's the good news for Maryland baseball, is that they do have a very, very well thought of internal candidate, and Matt Swope takes over as head coach. And so you hope, you hope that it's funny how they've lost two coaches previously and been able to sustain the turnaround of the program anyway. You would hope that that would continue, and that maybe even at an even higher level with someone that cares so deeply about this place in Matt Swope. So, again, I'm not trying to pretend like it's not a bummer. I'm not trying to pretend like, it's not disappointing to lose a head coach. Just you feel strongly about the guy that's going to take over the job as Matt Swope will become the next Maryland baseball coach. And then obviously the big story last night, the Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship in what was one of the worst basketball games that we have seen in a while.
Come on.
No, it wasn't defense. It was just missed shots.
1980s basketball.
It was not 1980s basketball. It was just missed shots. It was just – and in a way, I was bummed because, I've talked about how much I like Jimmy Butler, and for him to go out as sad as he did at the end, like he started to come back to life for a second. You were like, oh, there's playoff Jimmy. We're going to get one more playoff Jimmy, and then just throwing the ball away, jacking up threes. Like, even the foul call was embarrassing because it definitely should not have been a foul call. He was definitely kicking his leg out looking for a call. So that was a bummer seeing playoff Jimmy go out sad. Like, that part I didn't like so much. It's funny because you would say, hey, it's only a 5-game series. We kind of would have liked more basketball unless it was going to be that basketball. Because if we were going to get more of that basketball, I'm okay with this series just going ahead and ending. Like, that was brutal. You can't even make your free throws. That felt like a night where the Nuggets, the number 16 was wearing on them. When people say, hey, it's always tougher to get that 16th. Like, the first 15 are easier than the 16th. And you're like, okay, Chief, sure. They're up 3-1 in the series. They're the better team. That felt like that last night. It felt like a night where the moment was getting to them. And Michael Malone referenced that during his in-game interview. Like, look, we're tight. We're tight. And, I think there was only one guy on the roster that ever won a championship before. So you can understand why a group of guys who had never won a championship might be tight trying to close out the series at home in front of their fans. Ultimately, in the end, they made just enough plays, and the Heat just never figured anything out. Like, it was again, it's a bummer that it wasn't a better series. It's a bummer that the playoff Jimmy thing never really extended into the finals, and kind of after Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the playoff Jimmy thing died. Like, we didn't really see any more of playoff Jimmy at that point, which stinks because he was really entertaining and fun, and maybe the best thing about these playoffs on the whole. I think a lot of people enjoyed Nikola Jokic being so indifferent after winning the title.
We did it.
Yeah, like, now we can go home. And then in the press conference, they asked him about the parade, and he's like, when's the parade? Thursday. No, I need to go home. Like,
too far away.
Like, God, I love that.
And with the champagne, too, like, did you see him spraying the champagne?
He was like,
they, like, handed him a bottle, and they were like, come on, Nicole, like, you gotta do it. And he just took it and was just like,
right.
put a little bit in there
right.
and then put it back down.
Well, I did enjoy him throwing Jamal Murray into the pool afterwards. Like, that was a little more emotion, and seeing that relationship between the two of them. Like, a lot of times about players' close relationships. I don't know that we've known. There's been a lot made about the relationship between Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, but they've been together for a long time. And to see them have that type of moment, I think, was kind of neat, like, for you to understand a little bit more about their relationship and how important they are to each other. Obviously, Jokic got all of the attention for good reason. He's, the best player in the NBA at the moment. But Jamal Murray is in fact, in these playoffs, I think was at least as critical of a storyline in the Nuggets finally getting over the hump and not being the team that always, because we all know the direct comparison is when Jamal Murray's been hurt, the Nuggets have done nothing, have been worthless in the playoffs. So it was neat to see that relationship. Obviously, there's the local connection with Michael Malone and being a Loyola alum. It's so funny because we just talked to him a couple weeks ago. I had somehow forgotten that Drew Nicholas was their director of scouting for the Nuggets. So former Terp Drew Nicholas gets a ring out of this. Not that, I think he just took the job in September or something like that. So it's not like he
found Jokic, right?
It's not like he scouted the guys that were the central parts. I don't think he's had a draft yet, so I'm not really sure what he was scouting. But he'll get to wear a ring no matter what. That's the way it goes. I guess we should probably reach out to him. He's my guy. But it is a little bit awkward. Hey, what did you do? And it might not just be college scouting. It might be that he's scouting other guys. But I'm pretty sure when he took the job, the roster was mostly intact. I'm not sure. I don't want to disparage Drew Nicholas. That's my buddy. I love that guy, and he's obviously a Maryland legend. But look, a neat story, obviously. A neat story. of a franchise and it's a fan base that had to wait 50 years and finally got to the finals and now gets to win their title. And I think one of the things I said about these finals to begin with was that the star players were both so likable that it was kind of a win-win no matter what happened here. There was nothing not to like. There was nobody that you were rooting against. I still get sick of seeing the owners be the ones handed the trophies at the end of Stan Kroenke, the guy that ripped the football team out of St. Louis. Like I don't really feel good for that guy. But there's nobody really that matters that was unlikable. Jokic is so likable. Butler is so likable. You know, the respect that I've grown to have for Eric Spoelstra is almost overwhelming at this point. Like, there was just so many likable figures involved with these finals that it was kind of a can't lose. And, you know, as a sports fan, you like seeing other teams. You like seeing something new. You get sick of the same teams always winning. I don't hate the Warriors by any stretch of the imagination. I'm largely indifferent, and I find Steph Curry to be entertaining, but, you know, they've won plenty. I liked seeing somebody else win, and a neat story. And I do think that if the Nuggets can keep, like, they're going to lose Bruce Brown for sure. Bruce Brown priced himself into getting real money in free agency, but they keep the majority of the nucleus together, and Jamal Murray can stay healthy moving forward. There's every reason to believe that Nuggets will be in the mix for the next couple of titles, and Michael Malone alluded to that after the game last night. So, you know, not a whole lot else more to say. Congratulations to the Nuggets. On the whole, I thought the playoffs were pretty good. The finals clearly were not. You know, they left a lot to be desired, but the Nuggets are very deserving champions. I saw somebody trying to discredit them because they beat very few teams have ever had to beat 2 8 seeds and a 7 seed in the playoffs. It was, what did it, 8? I'm trying to remember what it was, like 8, 5, 7, something like that.
It was like 6 because the Lakers were 6, right?
6, okay. Then who did they beat? They beat the Suns. The Suns were the 3, I guess, weren't they? Were they the 3 or the 4?
They were the 5.
The Suns had the home court in the Clippers series. They had to be the 4.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, people have tried to discredit 8, 4, 6, 8. Okay, the teams won the series in order to get there. My God, don't try to take anything away from the Nuggets. Very deserving NBA champions. Today's show also brought to you by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. The Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today. I was at the game Saturday with my kids, and it was great to see this man back in Baltimore throwing out the first pitch. It's a pleasure for us to welcome in Orioles legend, Orioles Hall of Famer, El Presidente. Dennis Martinez is back with us now here on GCR. Dennis, it's Glenn back in Baltimore. It's so great to catch up. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Oh, thank you, Glenn. I really appreciate it that you have me on your program.
Oh, man, it's so good to talk to you. Dennis, when you come back here, it's obviously been a long time at this point, but you know that there have been some tough times for the Orioles in recent years. To see that crowd on Saturday and how electric it is and how much excitement there is surrounding this franchise right now, what did that mean to you to be back and experience that?
It was a great experience. I never thought what I saw that day, and not even about the ovation that I received, because I was kind of shocked in a way that people still remember, you know, our time and my name and who I was. I never expect anything like it, but it was emotional from my point of view, and I really appreciate about the fans, the recognition and the welcome they gave me that Saturday. I was so impressed, but mainly I was impressed the way that I saw the Orioles play. I mean, I see that hungriness, that desire to win, to prove who they are, and that remind me when we were young too. I mean, early in our career, that we would like to see and show the fans the appreciation of the fans, because the fans, they were behind us then. They were supporting us big time. And the reason was because we were winning. So that's what I saw that day, Saturday. I saw that the people, they on the stadium, they on the seat, because the team winning, because they see the passion, they see the desire from those kids that they want to win. And I was really impressed for a lot of good players that we have. So I think we have a pretty good shot for this year, and I hope that they will continue that way and stay healthy because that will be the only way they're going to do it.
Well, it's a couple of things you bring up. Like that first inning catch from Santander on Saturday was something else, right? Like that was pretty remarkable in right field. And then Frazier made a really nice play. I think what you saw is what we're feeling about this team. Like there's something it's almost difficult to define because it's not like they're loaded with superstar players. Right now, only Adley Rutschman is a leading vote getter or even anywhere close to a leading vote getter in all-star voting. This is not a team that has been built with a lot of money and superstars, and yet here they are with the third best record in baseball. And I think what you're saying is what we see all the time. You can't define it statistically. There's just seems to be something special about this group of guys and their desire to win, right?
Well, I was able to talk to the manager Hyde and then Gonzalez, the third base coach, and Hernandez. I think he's doing a hell of a job with the infielder. Or he's working with the infielder, and in the front line, that was the only guy that I saw, and I was able to talk to them, and I kind of chat with them a little bit, and let them know what I was hearing because I wasn't sure if it was true what was going on until that day that I was in person myself and saw that game the way they were playing. So and I believe that they have a hell of a job. I congratulate them because it takes a lot of work from their part toward the players, and it feels like a family. And I think Hyde's been doing that, putting everybody together, and that's what it takes. I mean, when you have a manager that you can trust, and also from the manager point of view, you have a manager that trusts your player, and it's both ways. It's both way, it's both way trusting, and I think I saw that. And when I was sitting right at the outside of the dugout talking to them, and when the players were coming in, and he was able to let this player know who I was, and then some of them, they say, "Hi, Mr. Martinez." I mean, you can sense, you can feel how appreciative they were to see me at least, to know who I was.
That's cool.
And especially that kid left-handed pitcher that it's not a big guy. I mean, everybody was big by him. What was it, Perez? I think that was the last name was. Left-handed pitcher, a reliever. If you can remember.
It was Cino Perez, yes, of course, right.
Yeah. So and I said, wait a minute, I almost offended him too. Was saying I didn't know he was a pitcher, right? So he came through and they tell me this is Perez, and okay. So I bet you are pretty fast. I bet you are an infielder. I go, oh no, I'm a pitcher, left. Oh boy, and then I went, okay. Let me tell you, I believe that you must be one of those lefty that you go in any way you can to get those lefty out.
Yeah, right.
That's your job.
Yep.
You gotta come in, my man. I know that you have the heart and the desire to do it because you don't have to be too big to do it, and I bet you that you have that. So I can see the eyes in that kid after I talked to him, knowing that I say he was so bad when I say he was a fielder, but then when I find out he was a pitcher, I share with him that, and he was, I can see like, whoa, he's right. That's what I am. So and see the rest of the guy, man. I talked to McCann, the catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I was inside the dog, and I kind of asked some questions to him. I said, hey, man, you are a real big boy. You know what? I would love to pitch a guy like you. You know why? I said, because you can give a big frame. You can be able to do what I would like you to do to help me to pitch a great game. And he said, well, that's what I'm figuring out with this guy. We have a good camaraderie. We have a good communication. I say, hey, and help those kids. I see you have a good analysis. You demand that you can make this thing happen. But don't forget that we as a pitcher, we have the ball in our hand. And don't feel bad, I say, if we shake you off once in a while. It's not against you. It's not against that we don't believe you. It's because we want to throw a pitch with the desire and the determination that we get somebody out that guy and that out with that pitch. That doesn't mean that you're not calling the right pitch. That doesn't mean that you wrong. No, it means that he say, and you know what he told me? Hey, Mr. Martinez, you know what? That's exactly what I tell the pitchers. I
Hmm.
say, hey guys,
Hmm.
I'm not the one there that have to pull the sign and you have to throw that pitch. You just throw the pitch that you want to throw because you will make the best pitch out of yourself because that baby will come with conviction. I said, you see, we're in the right space. So as long as you do that, we're gonna be okay. So that guy, he went even bigger. It looked to be bigger after we have those little
That's
shots.
cool.
So that was really great to find out the mindset about this kid, and they serious. That
That's
kid,
really cool.
again, it's something special.
He is Dennis Martinez, Orioles Hall of Famer. He is with us here on GCR. Dennis, obviously part of you being here, it's a reminder we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of the 1983 World Series title for the Orioles this season, and I wonder for you, like as you approach that number and you think back on it, like clearly winning a championship is a big deal, but we know, like in your legendary career, it was ironically, like not your best season, right? Like there was a lot going on. How do you reflect upon 1983, which is such a magical year for everybody here in Baltimore? And clearly winning a championship matters. Like how does it ring to you when you think back on 1983, knowing what you were going through in your own life and your battles and your struggles, and yet still, there's a ring that says you were a part of a championship team?
Hey man, that was the best thing that happened to me, believe it or not, that year, 1983. And that's the way I look at it, the positive way. I never look at it the negative way because everything is positive, and at least that's the way I think. So that means that he wake me up. He
Hmm.
wake me up for the best of me, for the best of my career, for the best of my family, and for the best of my relationship with God. So it was a spiritual awakening that happened to me that year in every way, and it was magical because it worked. We was able to come through and win the World Series without me participating there. But it was something meaningful for that transformed my life and my career after that season that it got me going. So I'm really grateful for that happened.
Wow.
I'm really cheering like I was a big part of that because I was in somehow, some way, maybe a spiritual. I was being, like I don't know, maybe redeeming or punishing. I don't know what it was, but I was that made me even stronger, I guess, to be able to.
Can I
Why this
can I
happened?
define that, Dennis, a little bit more? Like only because I for people that don't know the story, of course, alcoholism was real for you.
Yeah,
Can,
I'm gonna tell. Yeah, I'm gonna tell a little bit because yeah,
sure.
definitely. The people have to know that I was getting into a drinking problem that I had, and that was the worst year in baseball. If you look at all my numbers,
Yep.
that was like a flip side. It was like most of my year was 16 wins, 7 losses. 14 wins, 5 losses, or 10 losses, whatever it was. But I always was in the winning column. So that year it was the other way around. It was 7 wins and 16 losses,
Mm-hmm.
or 6 wins and 17 losses, something like that. So that proved that I was doing something wrong. That it was not physically because I was healthy, but it was mentally. That was the big part. That's why the sport and everything, the mental part is the most important thing. So my drinking started getting a little worse, and then I was able to, that I figured out to find out that I was getting too deeper into that, and and the way that it happened, like I say, it was like an awakening, and that happened afterward, and that it didn't happen during the season. It happened afterward, after we won the World Series, because that happened in December. And no, it happened in November, and then I went through the rehab in December 23rd, one day before Christmas. I mean, being going through that process that I went through, hey, that was something that I realized that it happened for the best.
Wow.
But like I say, it was great. It was good because I enjoyed it. Maybe that was the last time that I participated in celebrating with alcohol in my mouth and my
Hmm.
system. Because after that, I've been clean. I've been sober. So I haven't had a drink since then. So that's the remarkable part of this process. That I'm really grateful for that, and I really sharing that ring for the rest of my life because it means that to me.
That's
The World Series champion that we were that year, man, that was my life changing.
I want to say, congratulations on the 40-year anniversary of the World Series, but I guess we should really be saying congratulations on approaching 40 years of sobriety. That's amazing. I mean, that's an unbelievable accomplishment.
Thank you, sir. I like that. I never came to my mind until you mentioned it right now.
Wow.
But it is. Yes. Here also, man. So you see the number. I don't know, for some reason the number been after me too. I'm gonna tell you another thing that happened. That when I went to Cleveland, right?
Yep.
So I was 41. I was 41 years old, signing a 3-year deal with Cleveland, and I did happen that I beat Randy Johnson to go to the World Series, and the Indian has to wait 41 years to be able to be in another World Series. And look at me, and there were people they go by numbers, right? And they say, wow, look at this. We had to wait 41 years to go again in another World Series. And look at who put us in the World Series, being Randy Johnson. Old man, 41 years old, man, that is Martinez. So that went along with
That's
that.
cool.
And the other thing was that Baltimore in Cleveland, after I retired, after finishing my last year, then they gave me a big frame with a lot of balls, and there were 32 balls in there. So that was the 32 win that I won those 3 years there, and that was my number.
That's
So,
cool.
I mean,
That's cool.
I see a lot of different things, man. It meant to be somehow, some way. But let's go back to talk to the Orioles because I'm really excited about this year.
We love that.
Year. And I guess, but don't forget though that you always might need somebody at the end because I felt that the front office they might be aware, and I hope they keep eye on it, and they have to do the last part
Yep.
to make that happen.
Yep.
So the player they ready to do it. They willing to do it. They good at it. They going for it, but it's always have to be a little kicker in the back at the end, or because I think they're gonna need a one solid star there. It doesn't mean that what they have is good enough. They do it.
Yep.
But it will be even better to have one number one guy there somehow. And there's a lot of team might have somebody available there to get it, to bring there, to make that stuff real comfortable. And maybe, I'm not sure because I didn't see all the relievers that I need to see there, but maybe a little help as and the bullpen.
Well, yeah,
because what I saw in the line,
yeah.
when I saw the lineup, man, those left-handed hitters, I don't know if I would like to face them.
I tell you, the two guys they have at the back end of the bullpen have been really. You didn't get. Thankfully, the game ended up being a little bit of a blowout on Saturday, so you didn't have to see Cano and Batista at the back end of the bullpen. But man, those guys have been unbelievable this season. Right now, Felix Batista is damn near unhittable. But we strongly agree, Dennis, about the need to add in one more starting pitcher, just one more top of the rotation type of guy. Like the Astros did a few years ago with Justin Verlander to really put them over the hump. We agree strongly that could end up being the difference for this Orioles team. Dennis Martinez, I want to thank you for taking the time, but more than that, I want to thank you for being willing to remind everybody about your story, because I'm guessing that someone in our listening audience needed to hear your story this morning and what you've been through, and the fact that you're so open about it as we reflect 40 years later. I'm going to guess that you impacted someone today that's going to do something to help their life because of your willingness to share it again. It was so wonderful to see you and to see the way that Orioles fans responded to you in a packed stadium on Saturday. I'm hoping when you talk about the playoffs, we'll have you back here again come playoff time to celebrate one more, and maybe we can end this 40-year drought in Baltimore and get another World Series title before all's said and done.
Hey, man, I think to me, I mean, it would be real nice to, and I'm willing. That's what we are for. I don't understand, and I would love to see more old-timer involved in the organization. Just participate in the community. We would love to be part of that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, That's the tradition you got to bring to the people. It's something. I mean, the Yankees doing it. The Dodgers. There's a lot of organizations they doing it. I mean, I don't know. The Orioles might do it. I haven't heard anything, but I hope they do that because there's nothing wrong against what I'm doing for this organization now. I want to be part of this because I'm the one that I'm putting this together, or I'm doing this. No. It's that it is tradition that it comes way before.
No question.
What is happening now?
Yep.
So it was really great to have a camaraderie in that direction. It's not mean that we have to go there and show the kids what they need to do. Or no. We would like to share with them our experience. We hope, and what we went through or what we did, just for them to keep their mind sane and go forward.
Well,
go give it everything you got, boy, because we don't know if we have anything tomorrow.
We are strongly in favor of that, man. I think it would be a wonderful thing, and I'm going to remind Bill Stecca how badly you want to be around, and I'm sure that'll be music to his ears when he hears it. My friend, it's just so great to hear your voice. Thank you for spending some time with us this morning. We'd love to catch up again real soon, all right?
Thank you, my man. Take care.
That's
El
Presidente.
We're going to be there.
Yeah, man.
Let's go, O's. Let's go, O's.
Let's go, O's. I love it. Dennis Martinez, man, he's fired up. What a story, Dennis Martinez, and appreciate him being willing to reflect. And I didn't, he and I had never talked about 1983 before, but it seemed appropriate with this being the 40th anniversary, and for him to so openly speak about his own demons and what he went through. I really appreciate that because it was, maybe the lowest moment for Dennis Martinez in his professional career as the Orioles are winning a World Series. It's a very difficult, juxtaposition that those two things occurred at the exact same time. And yet, the way that when he looks at that ring, he sees 40 years of sobriety. And it's like, wow, that is powerful. And we all know that Dennis Martinez, unfortunately, after he moved on to Montreal, but Dennis Martinez was able to regain that form and continue what was an unbelievable career after he left Baltimore. Powerful story. Appreciate him spending some time talking about it. Can we grab a break?
Yes.
Let's do that. The Orioles right now are getting ready to face the Toronto Blue Jays, and that always gives us a great excuse to catch up with our guy, Caleb Joseph, who's not – we had Dan Duquette on last week, but Caleb Joseph does a better Dan Duquette than Dan Duquette does, frankly. We'll catch up with Caleb next. It is Glenn Clark Radio.
The Orioles are off and running, out to prove that last season wasn't a fluke, and they are one of the best teams in baseball. Hi, I'm Paul Valley, host of the Bat Around for PressBox. Tune in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon as Zach Goodman and I break down every Adley Bob, every Tony Tater, and every save from the mountain. Like a warm hug from Rutschman, the Bat Around has you covered with all things Orioles as we embark on what's sure to be a magical summer in Birdland. So tune in every Saturday for the best in Orioles coverage right here on the Bat Around.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Costas Inn has been serving up delicious steamed crabs for over 50 years. Lately, the crabs you want to eat when the weather warms up have gotten harder and harder to get. So get your crab eating game plan in place. Make sure to stick this number on your fridge, 410-477-1975. Call ahead and reserve the size crabs you want. You may be able to walk in, but you may also be disappointed at the size or maybe even get shut out altogether. So call ahead, have a plan, and then arrive on your crab eating vacation. Costas also has delicious crab soup and crab cakes. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard. For more than 50 years, they've been satisfying crab lovers in and around Baltimore.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
If you need more of Glenn, you can also hear him every Sunday with Rita on 105.7 The Fan. But also, if you need more of Glenn, what's wrong with you?
All right, back in here on GCR. Thanks again to El Presidente Dennis Martinez for joining us this morning. 2 days left, today and tomorrow, and then that's it. For you to sign up to win 4 tickets to all of the area minor league baseball teams, plus an Easy Pass Maryland on-the-go transponder preloaded with $25 and a $50 gas card from Royal Farms in order to help you get around. But after tomorrow, it's a speak now, forever hold your peace situation. Gone. Gone, daddy, gone. If you missed, it's not because we didn't warn you. We've been telling you about it twice a day for the last month. That's it. Today, tomorrow, and then never again. So get to PressBoxOnline.com/contests right now in order to sign up. You must be 18 or older in order to enter. If you're not, then just, find somebody in your immediate vicinity who is 18 or older and have them help you sign up, or they would sign up, I guess, on your behalf. You're going to get 4 tickets to all the games. You can take whoever you want to take. If you're already signed up yourself, maybe it's your wife, your girlfriend, both, whoever it is, get them signed up because Wednesday is the final day. PressBoxOnline.com/contests, again, is the website for you to get in. All right. Orioles Blue Jays. Game 1 of a 3-game set coming up tonight at Camden Yards. Dean Kramer on the mound against Chris Bassett. Every time the Orioles face the Blue Jays, it is a great excuse for us to catch up with our next guest. He is, of course, a former Orioles catcher, Blue Jays broadcaster, Dan Duquette impersonator. He is our friend Caleb Joseph, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Caleb, it's Glenn. What's going on, brother? Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Dude, I had Dan on last week, and all I could think about the entire time was how much better you are at doing Dan Duquette than he is at doing Dan Duquette. Is the
That's
wild
great.
part. You and I talked the last time the Orioles played the Blue Jays, and obviously that was a very good weekend for the Orioles. And we were talking sort of about like what's been off. I've seen that the Blue Jays seem like they're starting to turn the corner, and maybe turning the corner is unfair because in any other division the Blue Jays would probably be in pretty good shape. But they take 3 out of 4 from the Astros. They sweep the Mets. I know they lost the series this weekend. But are you starting to see the Blue Jays kind of get into the mode of what we thought they were going to be as truly a top contender to win this division before the season?
Great question. I think there's a lot of people in Toronto that are trying to figure that out as well. We have seen this team go 9-2 and then in the snap of a finger go 2-9 very, very quickly. And they're a bit of a tough team to figure out. I think their biggest problem for me so far, Glenn, is runners in scoring position. They've gotten more opportunities this year than in years past, but they just haven't been able to convert. It's been a big issue offensively where they haven't been able to really bust out of a bunch of big innings, create some big innings with the big hit. And that to me is kind of what is really hindering them right now. They obviously have lost Alek Manoah down to the training complex league, whatever it's called. It used to be called the Gulf Coast League when I played.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously gone, but the trio of Bassett, of Gausman, and Barrios, they have pitched very, very well. So in his absence, they've continued to keep the line moving. This is a very interesting team, though, because everybody expected this team to be at the top or very, very near the top, and they're just not there. And I think it speaks to their inability to continue these 9-2 runs, but I think it also speaks to the level of play that the AL East is bringing out. I mean, the Orioles are for real. The Tampa Bay Rays are absolutely for real. The Yankees aren't going anywhere, and this is just a very, very, very difficult division.
Ironically, the Rays ran into the buzzsaw that is the Oakland Athletics last night, which is very funny at this point. When you obviously Manoah is such a huge storyline. Can you, Caleb, explain to people, that we're not paying attention to what's going on with the Blue Jays every day? And
Sure.
So this sounds obviously, almost cataclysmic when we hear about the story. What actually has gone on with Manoah, and what is the hope for to be figured out as this was the step that they took in trying to deal with it?
Yeah, he started off the season very, very rough, really, really rough outing in St. Louis right out the gate, and just could not figure it out. He had 12 starts, I believe, maybe 13. And out of those 13 starts, there was only two that I thought were decent. Outside of that, it was an absolute struggle. He could not find the zone. The slider was his best out pitch. He just couldn't figure out how to get it to the same spot that he was throwing it to last year. They were non-competitive. They were balls out of the hand. A lot of the metrics, when you look at his stuff, metrically speaking, they're pretty similar in terms of break, in terms of release point, in terms of miles per hour. Yes, the miles per hour have been down just a little bit, but not a guy going from 97 to 90. And so he was struggling, trying to figure out why am I getting hit? Why am I not throwing it by guys? And 4 or 5 starts into that, once you have that sort of mindset and you can't figure out why you're not getting the swing and miss and you're not getting the weak contact, then you lose all confidence. And once you lose all bit of confidence at the big league level, it is very, very, very difficult to try and A, compete, but B, trying to figure it out at that level. Very, very tough. So before you knew it, the Blue Jays ace, he's really, really struggling. I mean, this guy is coming in with Cy Young Award votes, and then before you know it, 7, 8 starts in, everybody just feels terrible for the guy, and he can't figure it out. So Blue Jays had to make a decision, and they just couldn't keep running him out there for not only his own confidence, but the team's confidence. And they ended up sending him down to figure out biomechanically, make sure, at the complex that they have down there that is really, really good at that stuff, to figure out if there's something that they're missing mechanical that's not allowing that late finish. But it's been a struggle for him this entire season.
He is Caleb Joseph. He's with us here on GCR as we get ready for Orioles Blue Jays this week. Caleb, if I could compare it, it's not, obviously it's not nearly the same because Grayson Rodriguez has not had the success that Manoah has had, and I don't even know that he was as much of a mess as Manoah was. And in fact, the start that you saw of Grayson Rodriguez in Toronto was maybe his best start in the big leagues. And at the moment, we down here were thinking that might have been the turnaround moment for Grayson Rodriguez. And then one start later, it was such a mess that he had to be sent back down. What did you see that day from Grayson? Like, what did you think was working? And I know that you probably have not seen much of his other starts and the days that it wasn't working, but what did you think just of the talent if he can sort of get it all figured out and get back up here again?
Yeah, it looked nice. The stuff looked explosive. It looked lively. You can always tell what the stuff looks like and plays like just easily by watching the major league hitters and their responses. If you see guys that are constantly late, if you see guys that look uncomfortable, that's what I saw. I saw a guy, a big guy that gets down the mound, that creates some uncomfortability in terms of where he releases it, how far the extension is, the uniqueness of the windup, the explosiveness of the fastball. I talked to a couple guys after asking, hey, what do you got on that guy? And they said, he gave us some cookies yesterday, but he's going to be good. He's going to be good. And that's a good sign for Oriole fans. I liked the changeup. I thought it was a nice pitch. It's for me, when I watched him, it was hardest, and even harder, if that's even possible. And you talk about speed differential and separation, and I love the guys that can pull it. They can pull it back 10, 15 miles an hour difference off of a fastball to a changeup, or even a fastball to a breaking ball. And maybe my mind is losing it here, but I felt like the changeup could get hard at times, and that kind of even in that 90 range. Okay. And when you don't have that type of separation, it's a little bit difficult. But I thought overall his presentation was really good. I thought he did give up. I think it was a solo homer to somebody, and he got right back on the horse and got right back into the zone. That's always a good sign. Is not afraid of contact. And I thought Adley did a nice job working with him. But yeah, it's a tough job. It's a tough job to be a starting pitcher in the big leagues as a youngster on a team that's winning and is expecting to win. If this was the Orioles of 2 years ago, they just probably would let him go out no matter what,
Right.
and it didn't matter. But this team's expecting to win, and that's a good sign for Baltimore fans.
Oh, there's no question. And by the way, it's the standard that we're holding to, like, even a Ryan Mountcastle, who a couple years ago you would have had a long leash with because of the power. And now, you're getting to a point where you're like, okay, the power's cool, but you can't have this many empty at-bats. Like, I mean, we're talking about trying to put together a championship caliber roster right now. And, just the fact that you're able to run one out probably won't be enough. I want to go, you mentioned Adley a second ago, Caleb. I was wondering if I could get your perspective on it has been almost, I don't know, impossible is the wrong word, but to the standard with Adley Rutschman, he has struggled a bit more with trying to throw out base runners this season. And part of that is the long delivery of a few of these Orioles pitchers. There's no doubt. But I'm wondering if what you've seen, just with the rules changes this year and less engagements, if you've noticed that it might be more difficult in general for catchers to try to throw runners out because it's harder to keep runners on first base at this point.
Yeah, a lot of it is due to the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of the pitcher, to be honest with you. This is a problem in Toronto, and hopefully I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, but they've had some issues with base running and controlling the running game.
Did you hear that? Everybody was running tonight. Adley's run. Everybody's running tonight. That's what we're doing.
Track meet. Track meet. And a lot of it is there's just nothing you can do sometimes as a catcher if you're not given a chance. And Mike Petriello, MLB network contributor, they're doing some really cool work in the I think it's percentages that catchers should throw out. Kind of like projecting if it was really the catcher's fault or the pitcher's fault. I've found some of his work to be fascinating in that I knew as a catcher there were times when I had the ball. You're the play's in front of you. The ball's coming. You see the guy at first base take off. As you're receiving the ball, there's just a point on the field where as you're receiving the ball, he's there at that point. I don't really have a chance. Like I have no shot. Or as you're receiving the ball, you see him a little bit further back, more towards first base. I can't explain it. It's just a spot on the field where oh, man, I have a chance. Like, I'm going to throw that guy out. And I think that's what Petriello has been able to do is considering the jump, the sprint speed, the lead, the time plate. They're able to give the fan a pretty decent look at how relatively successful that player should be.
Okay.
40% chance. It's something to look at.
I'm gonna try to find it.
Yeah. When I looked at it with Jay's catchers, it made a lot more sense because they were making some pretty decent throws, and it just felt like they had no shot. And my eye test was saying, "Man, this is all on the pitcher." But yeah, a lot of it with the clock and the timing. These runners are now understanding how to manipulate. Knowing they're taking a 50-50 it gets down to 3, 2, 1 on the clock, they know they're probably not going to come over. They're trying to get into patterns, and once if you can see a guy getting into a certain pattern with that clock, you can time him up easily, which creates a better jump. And yes, I absolutely think all of these rules have worked in creating some more stolen bases, and I think it's great for the game. I think it's really, really good for the game.
Agree. Strong agree. I think it's awesome because it's exciting, and this is why I love the extra inning rule too, Caleb. Like I didn't love the everybody stand around and wait for a home run to be hit part of baseball. I like action in baseball. Before I let you go, can you make sense of how a team, and you were not on the team in 2012, but you were in the system, so you saw it, of course, when, like, you could just bring up a Lou Ford could show up, and all of a sudden that guy's going to perform, right? What the Orioles are doing right now, where it's not necessary. It's Cedric Mullins is hurt, and they're still – Aaron Hicks is performing after he had been written off. Ryan O'Hearn is performing. Josh Lester, who is in no ways seemingly a Major League Baseball player, is performing.
Sure.
Is there something about a team, a system? Can there be just a special sauce? Not where, like, I'm suggesting there's hubris, just hand me anything, like hand me Glenn Clark and you can win with that. But, like, can you define how a team can do this where there is no sense to guys like this finding success at the Major League level right now?
I think there's something to it. if there was an actual equation to figure it out, I think there'd be some really rich people out there because they'd be sharing that for the highest bidder. But yeah, I've been on teams where certain guys did not perform well on certain clubs, and they get sent over, and something about the moxie of the club, the dynamic of the team, their role, the expectations, just change of scenery. I mean, you got a guy like Aaron Hicks over there. This guy's a pretty decent player and just went to New York and couldn't figure it out. Like, just could not figure out how to get it out. And you look at him physically, still in pretty decent shape, and maybe just a change of scenery really was a shot in the arm to him. I know there were some people in Toronto that wanted to take a look at him because you have this sense that, you know, take a flyer, and if it doesn't work out, then you can part ways very easily, and it's no big deal. And that's the luxury of being able to go on some of these waiver claims, hitting on some targeting certain free agents, is that you can move on quickly if it doesn't work out. And that's, yeah, there was a bunch of teams in Baltimore that we had guys like that hit, like a Nate McLeod. Remember him? He kind of came over from Pittsburgh and goodness, like resurrected his career. It was awesome to watch. And yes, it happens quite a bit. And you know what? Sometimes you need that. You need some of those surprises in a season that maybe there wasn't the greatest expectations. It's these type of surprises that just make you think that, man, maybe there's something to the season. Maybe there's something special going on. I felt that way in 14.
Yeah.
Just stuff happened our way, right? And it seems like, yes, you talk about O'Hearn. I mean, that guy, yeah, massive power. And I mean, he won a game against.
Yep. That 3-run homer changed everything. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
Yeah, single-handedly won a game. And if you get 4 or 5 performances like that from guys you didn't expect, 4 or 5 games could be playoffs, not playoffs, division. Could be massive in this division, and to get contributions from guys like that you weren't counting on back in spring training is huge. You in Baltimore, or are you back in Toronto for this week? I'm actually back in Nashville. I'm back. Oh, you're home. I'm cool. Here for these 3, and then I go back to Toronto for the next 4. Enjoy a couple days back at home. Caleb Joseph, always appreciate you, brother. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us. We always love doing this, dude. Yep, you got it. Take it easy. It's Caleb Joseph with us here on GCR as we get ready for Orioles Blue Jays this week. Appreciate him taking the time. And, yeah, I mean, that game in Toronto when Orioles were down, they were dead. And it was O'Hearn with 2 runners on base, and you're like, I don't know, maybe. Off of Jordan Romano. Man, go figure. I did pull up the stat that he's talking about, caught stealing above average. It's not it doesn't give Adley a, it doesn't like boost. I gotta learn more about all these numbers on caught stealing above average, but essentially, what I'm understanding, his score is 0. So they're not. It doesn't seem like they're excusing him on it's all on the pitchers, but I don't know if it's a simplistic. What I'm trying to figure out the stat is what they're saying. Just that he hasn't thrown anybody out that he was not expected to throw out, because that really doesn't define like whose fault it is in the situations where he hasn't thrown someone out. I gotta learn more about this statistic, but I found this statistic at Baseball Savant, caught stealing above average, and Elias Diaz, Connor Wong, Gabriel Moreno, and Sean Murphy are the guys at the top. Moreno and Diaz have thrown out 6 above average. Wong and Murphy have thrown out 5 above average. And Austin Wynns, ironically, former Orioles farmhand, and briefly, he was at the Major League team briefly, right? Austin Wynns has thrown out 3. I don't even know who Austin Wynns is playing for that he's on this list, if I'm being honest with you. He's not with the Giants still, is he? Maybe. McCann even has 1. He's registered 1 caught stealing above average. He's on the Rockies, Austin Wynns. Who knew? What was he in a trade, or did the Orioles just gave up on him, right? Or I don't remember. Yeah, we're spending way more time talking about Austin Wynns than is warranted. He went to the Mexican League after his time with the Orioles in 2020. And there you go. Reclamation project after that. He was on the team in 2021. He just elected free agency. He was just gone. Like he was not involved in any sort of deal. He was just gone.
All right, very good. Into hour number 2. I believe we have to make another call. Into hour number 2 of today's program. Today's show also brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. If you missed it, Stan, Luke, and Ross Grimsley got together last night talking some baseball. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports is how you find it. Click on the videos tab. Go to YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. In order to see it, Stan the Fan Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson talking baseball. Still to come this morning, Jackson Holliday will join us, the number 2 overall prospect in all of baseball. We will catch up with Jackson Holliday, who has just been lighting the world on fire since he was called up. And even before, when he was at Delmarva, he was lighting the world on fire, but that has continued since he was called up to Aberdeen and appears to be on the direct path. Baseball America is who I'm referring to, that had him as their number 2 overall prospect in all of baseball. As we were chatting with Carlos Collazo yesterday, and still to come this morning, we will try the pineapple with Old Bay and do the Carson Weekly life hack as well. But before we do any of that, a historic moment this weekend up in New York, as our next guest became the first ever female trainer to win a Triple Crown race when Arcangelo won the Belmont Stakes. It is a pleasure for us to welcome into GCR Jena Antonucci, who is with us now here on the program. Jena, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's an honor to catch up with you. Thank you for taking the time, and congratulations on a historic victory.
Hey, Glenn, good morning. Thanks for having me.
I know it's been a couple of days. I don't know, like, have you had a chance to just sort of sit down and, like, really reflect on, oh, my God, this is real, this has actually happened, and this is who I am now for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I mean, that's all a thing. Apparently we did a thing on Saturday. And, it's been amazing, and I'm just, again, just so immensely grateful for so much positiveness and great energy, and honestly been so well received by, racing and beyond, that it's nothing that I take lightly, and I'm so thankful for everybody.
Jena, I think everybody has seen the video of you watching the race on Saturday. I think it's one of our favorite things. How much in that, can you define for me, how much in that moment is it just as simple as I'm a trainer excited about my horse winning a race, particularly a really big race, versus how much of it for you is the emotion of knowing the history that you're making in that moment? Like, how much of each of those things are we seeing come out right there?
Honestly, because I had to figure out, because I was like, oh my God, that's almost embarrassing. That's a lot going on, Jena. And then I had to kind of go back in my mind and pinpoint where that was in the race. And that's actually when we were able to come up the rail, which was not what we thought was going to be. And so my pause in the beginning of that was oh crap, that rail is going to open and we're going to be able to go through there. And so my pause of oh my God, that's the moment of that's happening. Because obviously the 3-hole, we thought we'd probably be 2 past the whole way around kind of thing. No one ever wants to get buried on the rail. We've all gotten beat because we couldn't get around traffic. And so for him to kind of take the short trip there, but also the rail was pretty dead all day. There wasn't a dirt race a couple hours before this race. And so I think he had to do a little bit of extra work and navigating the rail for quite some time. And then for it just to pan out how it did coming for home. And everybody knows the enormity of that racetrack and how long that drive is. But Javier and I had, and John Everett had talked about, listen, we want to get a jump on him. We know we have an amazing sustained run from this colt, and they're going to have to catch us. So for him to essentially be able to cut the corner, whether the rail is dead or not, is, kind of secondary to that, and then start to go. My reaction is in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not one to say, if I do this, there'll be historic this, there'll be that. That's just not how I'm personally wired. And so if we continue to steward the best we can for this horse, my accomplishments on my resume will be the benefactor of his amazingness. And so my psychoticness coming down the stretch was just it all coming together, and just so proud of the colt and the trip. and him just being just who he is as an individual.
I want to make sure that's very clear. That's Jena saying psychoticness, not Glenn Clark saying psychotic.
No, yeah. I fully see the video, and I'm like, that's a lot. But, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's this race or any race. We're pretty enthusiastic when they're running hard down the stretch.
Oh, no
just
doubt.
Giving you everything they have.
Oh, it's the best. America's Best Racing has done such a great job. We were talking to the Ramiro Restrepo about it a couple weeks. I mean, it's just all of those videos. I could watch them all day. They're so exciting, and that was so cool. Jena Antonucci is with us again. Arcangelo, the Belmont champion. Jena, did you know after the Peter Pan? Like, did you in your mind say, I genuinely believe we have the opportunity to do this?
No, not I think in the context that you're asking it. I mean, we wanted him to come out of that race, get himself back together. You know, he's a very expressive, communicating kind of horse. So we were really just trying to make sure we gave him the breathing room he needed to make sure we were ready. You know, again, stewarding the best decisions. I'm not one that wants to, okay, there's this race. We have to aim for it and be ready. He needs to be in the right space. You know, we'll back into breeze dates and this and that when he starts, you know, bouncing and doing all the things he's supposed to do. But, you know, we came out of the Peter Pan, obviously, you know, there's a stakes schedule for a reason. And it was the number one on the radar of, hey, if this spot makes sense. And sure, there are plenty of, you know, you want to go 1.125 miles to 1.5 miles, first time 2 turns, have you lost your mind? And it's like, well, that's wonderful, but we'll see how he does it. And honestly, 1.5 miles might be for a horse that has a stamina pedigree, maybe the most favorable for him going the first time 2 turns, because you're not demanding such a snappy speed and pace and, you know, smaller field because it's 9 instead of 12 or more. So some of those things were all part of our decision making of, you know, obviously it came together to be such a amazing race with such amazing 3-year-olds. And I think, you know, sometimes the Belmont had been viewed as one that could come up a little bit light, if there's such a thing as a light grade 1. And that definitely didn't happen this year.
I might be forcing something here, so maybe you're gonna laugh and say, no, I don't feel it at all. But I couldn't help it. There was such a celebration of Secretariat this weekend, with it being the 50th anniversary of the Belmont win, and so much of Secretariat's story surrounds Penny Chenery, right? Like that. She was such a figure. She wasn't I want to make it very clear. Like, I'm not trying to draw a parallel, but in becoming the first female to win as a trainer a Triple Crown race on the 50th anniversary of a weekend that was so important to a important female figure in horse racing history, did you feel any connection? Did that matter to you in any way this weekend?
I think one of the biggest parallels that I could draw with Mrs. Chenery was just she believed in her horse.
Yeah. And
it's sometimes that simple. And I had observed some synergies kind of through the week leading up to it, with just a little bump here and a little bump there, where it was like, whew, wow, there's a lot of little things just kind of falling in place. And you know, obviously John's stable name is Blue Rose Farm, and the colors of Secretariat, you know, being blue and white, we drew the number 3, which was blue. The meaning of what a blue rose is, you know, just the unattainable. And so there was just some really interesting, beautiful Kismet type things that I appreciated kind of through the week. That were just personal, very personal to me. But I think more than anything, you know, Julie Crone, her 30th anniversary. So you know, as far as maybe the universe giving us a little kick in the butt to lean into some of these amazing women that, you know, did far more than I had to do before 2023. But if anything, Mrs. Chenery just was an advocate for her horse, didn't get bullied and knocked around, and stayed her course, and just, again, stewarded Secretariat through his career.
I'm so glad that you didn't just laugh at me when I asked that. I'm so glad that there was actually something there.
You gotta believe in something,
right? I love that, Jena. Having a few days now to reflect, and beyond just winning the race and what it means for the horse, the historic part of it. Have you been able to fully grasp that side of it and what it means for? No, okay, all right. I appreciate that. Like,
no, and it's a part of it that I know. I'm okay with dreaming, and I'm okay with pushing hard and trying to accomplish. But I think it's super important to set goals that are personal for yourself and for each person that's trying to accomplish whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. So it's, I'm getting it. With doing some of the amazing opportunities in the last, day and a half, there's been a handful of complete strangers, women. We, happened to cross two ladies this morning from Sweden who looked and was like, wait a second, you're the, hold on. And they were tearing up. And so from that point of view, I'm wrapping my head around still what it means to other women, because I'm a doer. And so to see it touch people that aren't in our industry and that it means something to them that I don't fully grasp yet, is that part, honestly, is probably the most profound for me.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool to hear. And could you tell me a little bit about, you're getting to this point in your path? I know Wayne was such a huge part of it, and I've covered enough races over the years to hear everybody call him coach. And I just, can you tell me how were you able to get to this place in your career to have these types of horses and the chances to win races like the Belmonts?
I think the best part that I got from Wayne's program is that I wasn't at the racetrack, and that we were in a farm environment and breaking and developing. And, what Wayne Lucas has done for our industry with putting out the expectation of excellence is invaluable, and the amount of phenomenal horsemen that have touched his program or come out of his program is real. And, his program that was at Padua at the time had that as a foundation. And so I had my own set of horse skills that I had developed through my life into my early 20s at that point. And then really my first full submersive part of the thoroughbred industry being under that structure and that attention to the detail and why it mattered. And then watching other horsemen once I shifted more. And I'm a bit detail oriented, saying that a bit sarcastically, because I'm extremely, that's just part of who I am, and making sure we're crossing and dotting and doing everything that we're supposed to do. And so I think just having that reassurance of do it right and put your best foot forward and horse first, and watching amazing horsemen on mostly, obviously my career's been on the East Coast. And so being able to watch, I'm a big student of observation and watching other people's programs and how people have handled themselves, good and bad, by the way, not just, they've done everything right, watching what doesn't work, or how someone doesn't handle themselves the right way and why that doesn't resonate well, but just being a student of observation and just trying to, you just store little nuggets along your journey. And having that first imprint of the training and racing side from Wayne's program was invaluable. And then evolving through my career from reproductive work, veterinary work, rehabilitation, aftercare, and all of those pieces, I think help make you make better decisions and help you to make sure that we continue to be horse first. We are so blessed to do what we do. This is an absolute gift to train racehorses for a living. I don't ever lose sight of that. And it's really trying to make sure we stay focused on doing that and making the best possible decisions we can for the time that we have with these horses in our hands.
You're resonating, the making your own table. I can see how it's resonating with an entire country right now. What I can say is congratulations on making that table, Jena. And selfishly, we're going to root like hell for you to have a horse in Baltimore next year. That would be great for us if it were to work out that way. Congratulations, an amazing moment. Thank you for taking the time for us and celebrating it with us.
Thank you for your well wishes. I appreciate it.
It's Jena Antonucci, the trainer of Arcangelo, Belmont champion, first ever female trainer to win a Triple Crown race. Remarkable story. Appreciate her taking the time for us this morning. All right, today's show is also brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, which is available for like one more day. There it is, the Pipeline Primer issue. And it's ironic that the guy that's on the cover is Jackson Holliday. Go get it before it's gone, because it's going to be gone by Thursday. It'll be gone. So go get it right now at your neighborhood Royal Farms. any of those hundreds of locations around town where you can find PressBox. Read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. And joining us now here on GCR, number 2 overall prospect in all of baseball, a man that has been tearing the cover off the ball in Aberdeen, 344, 479, 1,056. How's that sound to you? He is Orioles top prospect Jackson Holliday, and he is with us now here on GCR. Jackson, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to catch up again, man. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I know this is going to sound like a dumb question, but why is this so easy for you? Like, why is it that you have had absolutely no issue whatsoever at such a young age transitioning to pro ball and jumping up a step?
It hasn't been easy, but I've been able to have some pretty good success here lately. But I think just being able to challenge myself each day and be around a bunch of really good guys that want to better themselves. So we challenge each other every day, and we practice hard, and it's able to carry over into the games. And the coaching staff has done a great job of helping me understand what to do and just having a plan, and I've been able to execute it.
The numbers are eye-catching, and we see the individual performances. You know, you maybe would have had the cycle had it not been for rain, the 2 home run games. What is it that you're most proud of, Jackson? What is maybe the progression in your game, as we have to remind ourselves, your first full season of pro ball, that you've been most proud of during the course of the start of this year?
So far, I think it's kind of learning how to fail. I feel like I've done a pretty good job of turning around whenever I have a bad game and being able to put together a good one pretty close after that. So just being able to stay as steady as possible, because obviously baseball is extremely hard and you have bad games. So being able to turn that around pretty fast is something that I try to do, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job at.
It's hard for us to even pinpoint when you've had bad games, but I understand what you're saying at this point. The spotlight, right? Like, we were talking to Max Costas a couple weeks ago, who's one of our guys and we love. And you, everywhere you go, you're the rock star, right? Like, you're the guy everybody wants an autograph from. How you're a kid. Like, how have you been able to handle all of that? Is it fun for you? Is that part of it where you have to learn to enjoy that and not see it as an obligation or as an amount of pressure?
Yeah, it's cool to see all the little kids, especially up here in Aberdeen with the Cow Ripping tournament being right here. It's cool to see all the kids that come out to the game and want your autographs. So it's pretty neat to me. I remember when I was that age and wanted to get big leaguers autographs. So it's pretty cool to see and to be a part of. And yeah, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it to an extent, and it's pretty cool.
I hear that to an extent, by the way. I don't doubt that at some point it's like, okay, all right, I've been doing this for 10 minutes. I gotta worry about baseball at some point. But I feel like it almost has to require that, right? Like, because it's not going to go away, obviously. Like you kind of have to learn to appreciate that part of it, and maybe accept it as not an obligation as much as it's an opportunity, right? Maybe is that the way to look at it?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make a good impression on the fans, and I like to play a certain way, and hopefully kids will watch me play and want to play the game the right way. So that's kind of how I go about it. And growing up in the clubhouse, I watched my dad and lots of big leaguers handle autographs, and I kind of want to go about it that way as well. So I appreciate all the fans and everything that they do for us. So I want to treat them the right way.
He is Jackson Holliday. He is with us here on GCR. Jackson, I remember when we chatted last year, you were talking about, some of the guys that you've had the opportunity to work with over the years. It was funny because Ryan Spilborghs was in town doing an Orioles game for Apple recently, and we were talking to him about, like, babysitting you when you were younger and, being around you so much. Have those opportunities continued? Like, did you spend time this offseason with, like, anyone in particular that helped as you continue to develop and grow your game?
Cody Bellinger got to come and stay with us, and he came and hit with my dad.
That's not a bad one.
So, no, he came and hang out for a few days, and one of my buddies was in town, and he plays for for the Red Sox organization, and we were just asking him a bunch of questions because obviously he had such a great run, and we asked him a bunch of questions about that and kind of their organization, and it was really neat to hear some of the things that he had to say, and it was a really neat experience for me. Obviously, he was still struggling at that point, but you could just see how much he loved the game, and it was really cool to watch for sure. So that was one that came down this off season, and who knows? Got more next off.
I mean, it's cool. It's, as we talked about before, it's not something that everybody gets the opportunity to do, clearly. And now you got a brother who gets to say, I get to work with Jackson Holliday every day.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. I hear he's pretty good, by the way.
He is. They just got in town, so
that's cool.
He's going to get to watch a few games and then head on to the summer circuit again.
That's awesome, man. The Ironbirds are back home this weekend, and a great chance for you to get out and see Jackson and see the young Orioles prospects. Friday night, post-game fireworks, Saturday fireworks as well, teacher appreciation night on Saturday, a big Father's Day celebration as well, including a best mustache contest, which I would have zero chance of winning, plus a post-game Dads Run the Bases event. You can find out more about what's going on as you check out the Ironbirds on social media. Jackson, a lot of people talk about, we're getting carried away around here. We're like, man, maybe he could be here by next year. I wonder how much you think about, timelines. Do you separate yourself from that entirely? Do you have goals in front of you? I'd like to be at this level by this point. I'd like to be – how do you approach – the day, the macro versus the micro, the day by day, but also the big picture goals that you have for yourself?
Yeah, I just try to be day to day. Obviously, I have goals, and I would like to reach them. And I think a good goal is to be in AA by the end of the year, and then the next two levels the next year. So that's kind of my goal, but definitely just taking it day by day has helped me get to the point where I'm at now, and trying to give them no reason to keep me here. So I love the guys in Aberdeen, but
right.
I want to be a big leaguer, so I'm trying to make it up as fast as possible.
As you say that, do you feel like you are, do you carry that type of confidence about yourself that there isn't something that you wouldn't be ready for, right? When you say I want to be in AA, but do you feel that in yourself? I don't care how old I am. I've been around this game my entire life. I feel like I'd be ready for that if that opportunity comes in the next couple of weeks or months.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've done a good job, and I feel like the coaches around me have done a great job of setting me up to be ready for that level. And honestly, I do feel ready, and obviously it'll be more difficult than high A, but who doesn't like a challenge? So it's something that I'm trying to work towards, and it's all part of a plan.
You've mixed in a little bit of second base this year. So let's go twofold. One, how good you feel about the shortstop that you have played this season, and is the second base their idea? Is it something that you want to do to just it can't hurt to even be more versatile, even if you're the guy that's thought of to be a big league shortstop? What's the second base thing been all about?
I think it's just giving more opportunities for guys to play other positions.
Okay.
And it's important in the organization to be able to play lots of positions. So I play shortstop, I think, 5 times a week, and then second base the other day, I guess. So just being able to play multiple positions is very important, and second base is a pretty simple one to have as your secondary. So I feel very comfortable there. I feel very comfortable at shortstop, but any way that I can help the team win is what I'm there for.
All right, the important stuff. You've been here for a little while now. How much have you become entrenched in the seafood culture in the state of Maryland?
Honestly, not that much. Not as much as I would like to be.
Okay,
but,
all right, we can accept that.
I've heard good things. Yeah, I enjoy seafood.
See, it would have been really hurt
fish and crabs.
If you had said dude, I'm never gonna eat that type. It would have been really tough for us. I'm sure you understand
that's
that.
not it.
It's just that you haven't had the same opportunities, and what we're saying is we got to change that. We got to get you hooked up with.
Yeah, exactly. I need some suggestions.
Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna get you in touch with our guys from Costas to try to get you some stuff like that. We will make that happen because that needs to happen. Have you had a moment yet where someone's been excited about meeting you, or when it comes to kids or fans, that's one thing, but like someone in the game that's been like excited about seeing you or talking to you, that like it's hit you like, oh my God, this person thinks it's cool to be talking to me? Like, have you had a moment like that so far?
Not really. I've had a few guys come up to me and said they enjoyed looking at my numbers and what I did the night before, but not yet. I've had some cool moments where I'm like, this is pretty cool to be on the same field as some of these guys that I've watched on Instagram and on TV for a while. So it's been pretty cool to play against some guys like Spencer Jones and some of these top prospects that you watch play in college. So it's been pretty cool.
What about the other? Is there anybody? I think about how many. Again, we talk about all the opportunities that you had and being around, superstar players at a young age. Is there anyone still that like you meet where you have any? Like, I don't know if fanboy is the right word, but like there's a moment of, wow, like this is cool for me. Or is it just sort of so normal for you because you've just been around, some of the greatest players in the history of the game for your entire life?
I wouldn't say meeting them. I think Derek Jeter might be the only person that I've ever met that I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
But being able to just share a field with some of the guys that were on the Blue Jays, like Bo Bichette and some of these George Springer, some of these guys that you watch and like grew up watching on TV, and George Springer hit all his homers in the postseason. Then you're playing shortstop while they're hitting, and he hits a homer. Like that was really cool for me. And spring training was really neat to just share the field with some of these guys that you've been watching on TV, and even my dad's played against. So that was pretty cool.
Have you had the opportunity to spend any time with Cal yet?
I have not. I have not met him yet.
You got to make that happen.
Looking forward to the day. Yep.
Oh, man, you're playing on his field. We got to have that happen at some point. I remember you saying like that you thought that was kind of like a lot of people would be scared of playing the position of a legendary player in Baltimore, but you were kind of like embracing of that, right? Like it's cool to you to be the guy following in the lineage of a Cal Ripken being a shortstop in Baltimore.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of an honor to be able to share the same position even. But I got to play in this tournament whenever I was a little kid, and now all these kids are playing in the tournament up here, so it's kind of full circle for me. It's pretty cool to see.
You already saw it happening when you were drafted, but the way that it has sustained what the Orioles have done in this turnaround, like how much does that fortify your energy, your excitement, that it's not just that you were the number one pick or that you're in a good place, but like there's legitimately a path that perhaps you guys could be winning a World Series in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it is really awesome to be able to finish our game and look at the MLB app and see that they won again. So it's really neat to see, and it's awesome to follow some of these guys that I got to be with during big league training, and see what Gunner's been doing the past month.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty awesome to see him turn things around, and he's a very talented player, and it's really cool to just see all the guys like Joey and whenever they get called up, and it's been a lot of fun for me to watch.
What did you think of that home run the other day, by the way? Like, my God, I mean, that's one of the most majestic things I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty unbelievable. I think by the end of his career, he'll definitely hit the warehouse.
Bro.
So, that would be pretty neat.
It'd be one of the most electric moments ever if it were to happen. And oh God, that would be cool. And then
that was the one. That was the one. He just needed to pull a little bit more.
Right? Like it would have been there. You're so right about that. The distance, obviously, like if it's just a little bit further, just a bit further to the right, that's there. It's gone. I mean, it was like 30 feet further than where the warehouse is down the line. So.
I know that would have been pretty amazing.
It would have been righteous if that were to occur. What is the hair update? Where are you at? Like where on, like when you're playing versus not playing? Like what is the like a length that you're comfortable with, or that maybe even I don't know if it's a Samson thing. Like you need your hair to be a certain length in order to feel the strength.
No, I need it cut is what I need. It's getting long. I've been trying to make appointments, and it's getting a little out of hand. I need to get it back under control like I had during spring training, but Yeah, it's pretty long right now.
All right. I mean,
Very long.
I feel like people would almost be freaked out if they showed up and you didn't have that rocking though.
I
Like,
know. I gotta keep it.
Are you? I promise we'll wrap with this. Are you a superstitious? Baseball players are the most superstitious athletes on the face of the planet. And you are kicking ass this season. Have you been a superstitious person? Have you adopted any superstitions because of the success that you've had? Where are you with all of that?
I wouldn't say I'm superstitious.
Maybe
I have my routine. I have like certain things that I do in the cage, and like that's kind of as far as I go, is kind of having the same routine each and every day. But no, I'm not really superstitious. But
maybe a little.
I know guys that are. Yeah, maybe a little superstitious.
Yeah.
You ever seen The Office? Yeah.
I like that. that. Jackson Holliday, I don't know what else there is to say other than may you can continue to kick ass like this for forever. It's an awful lot of fun to watch, and I know how exciting it's been for everybody to get up to Aberdeen to see you play. At J_Holiday7 on Twitter, of course, at Jackson_Holiday7 on Instagram. Give him a follow. Jackson, appreciate you taking the time for us, man. I know you're in high demand. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Jackson Holliday with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time. IronbirdsBaseball.com is the website. Again, they're back home this weekend. Weather's great. Jackson Holliday is a monster. Orioles are away this weekend. Seems like a pretty good weekend for you to get up to Aberdeen and check out the Ironbirds. Carson, you went up a couple weekends
I did,
ago,
yeah. It was a great experience. And you can sit, like, really close for, like, $20.
Look, the Ironbirds have always been one of my favorite things to do. Like,
it's awesome.
I've gone to, I don't know, hundreds of Ironbirds games since they first arrived. And now, of course, with them being, like, everything changed when they became the high A affiliate, and, like, that just made it all the more electric and exciting.
No doubt.
But sitting out in the crab deck has been one of the great experiences in local sports, and with Jackson Holliday there right now, it's a damn good time to go see them.
Yeah, we're lucky, too, because there's a lot of high A and, just minor league in general stadiums that are, not particularly nice, but we're very lucky. We have a very, very nice one, so definitely go if you get the chance. It's a really, really good time.
You can win 4 tickets to see the Ironbirds and all other of the area minor league baseball teams. PressBoxOnline.com/contest, but that ends tomorrow. Final day of the contest tomorrow. 4 tickets to all of the area minor league teams, plus a Easy Pass Maryland on-the-go transponder preloaded with $25 and a $50 gas card from Royal Farms to help you get around. Must be 18 or older, and again, it's important. The contest ends tomorrow. So get to PressBoxOnline.com/contests right now in order to sign up. All right, when we come back in, we're life hacking it. And we're going to try we're going to learn a new way to eat pineapple, which I'm intrigued by. I struggle with whether it's life hack, whether it's really improving my life versus just an alternative, right? Like,
I mean, if this works out, I think it would.
I think it's
change
It's
lives.
a fun way to eat pineapple, though.
It's
a little fun-sized bite.
thing. When we define life hack, is it really improving my life or just something different in my life? That's all. I'm not. But we're
variety is the spice of life.
First of all, it's got to work, and I'm very nervous. This is the first one we're doing. It's got to work, so we're gonna try it, and then whether it works or not, we're going to try some Old Bay pineapple. That's on the way. It is a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the pipeline of talent still to come for the Orioles, diving in on last year's #1 pick, Jackson Holliday, and other top prospects like Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, Kobe Mayo, and more. Also inside, Todd Karpovich profiles Orioles pitcher Kyle Gibson, and Bo Smolka breaks down what progress would mean for the team's 2022 draft picks in their second pro season. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
The All-America Senior Game powered by New Balance will be back at Johns Hopkins Homewood Field on July 29th. The most decorated girls and boys lacrosse players in the country have been invited to play in what is the premier lacrosse event of the year. Every college coach wants their players in this game, and if you dream of being in this game, you start by trying out for one of your regional underclass teams this summer. The best against the best. Get your tickets now at allamericalacrosse.com.
Costas Inn has been serving up delicious steamed crabs for over 50 years. Lately, the crabs you want to eat when the weather warms up have gotten harder and harder to get. So get your crab eating game plan in place. Make sure to stick this number on your fridge, 410-477-1975. Call ahead and reserve the size crabs you want. You may be able to walk in, but you may also be disappointed at the size or maybe even get shut out altogether. So call ahead, have a plan, and then arrive on your crab eating vacation. Costas also has delicious crab soup and crab cakes. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard. For more than 50 years, they've been satisfying crab lovers in and around Baltimore.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Check out PressBoxOnline.com every day to find daily winners and betting advice from Jeremy Kahn. And if you want some advice about life decisions that you probably shouldn't make, here's Glenn Clark.
It's been a busy morning. Thanks again to Caleb Joseph, Jena Antonucci, and Jackson Holliday for joining us all in one segment. I don't think you're going to get that on the radio. I don't think that happens very frequently. Not that I hate the radio. I'm on the radio, too, so maybe I shouldn't go war radio. But appreciate them all taking time for us this morning. Now, even better than all of that. You say, how could it be better than that? Well, now we're going to try to improve your life. I don't know if we've decided on a name for this segment yet.
It's never been discussed.
We kind of,
I know this is
the hack job. That's what we're going to call it. The hack job.
I'm trying to think of a play on Carson's name. I guess there's not.
It's really, it's not. Your weekly hack job, something like that was what we're going to go with. I would like some imaging for it if we could work on that. Can we make that a priority this week?
Sure, yeah.
What is that response? I asked for Griffin to do his job, and he's like, okay, I guess.
Yes,
you want me to produce the
look
show? Really?
Yeah.
For F's sake. I give up, man. I don't know what that was alarming. Like, can we maybe improve the program? Do we have to? God. Carson Weekly every week this summer is going to attempt to show us some sort of life hack. He will peruse the interwebs. And there are lots of Twitter accounts and YouTube accounts and TikTok accounts that are related to life hacks. And sometimes I see them and think to myself, I'm not really sure if I qualify this as a life hack as much as it's just something. What was the one we were talking about with, like,
the shirt?
Yeah, where it's like a lot of work.
But it saves money.
I guess.
We're still going to have to disagree. Disagree.
Yeah.
What was the shirt thing? It makes
you
the shirt
like
smaller? No,
if you shrink it in the dryer on accident and you don't want to
stretch it back,
you can stretch it out using conditioner.
Like, it's an awful lot of work to just not get another shirt. Like, it feels like at some point you should just give up. So, Carson, this life hack. So we had decided we were going to do the Old Bay and pineapple bit. So I wanted it to be a pineapple-related life hack. So what did you peruse and discover as far as a pineapple life hack?
I actually found a relatively viral video, and it's like you said, it's a life hack, but like, really, is it? So what you're supposed to do is if you take the stem and you twist it off the pineapple, so it's just this bottom part right here.
Okay. And how is the camera for this? Are we in? We want to make sure that we.
And then you take it. And you, like, bang it on a surface a few times. I'm going to use the stool. I don't want to mess this table up. You bang it on a surface, and that's supposed to, I guess, like, loosen it up a little bit in there. And then you take it, you flip it on its side, and you roll it like a rolling pin for, like, 20 seconds or whatever. You're supposed to be able to take one of these little spines right here and pull it out.
You just have like
a little bite-sized piece of
it's like an hors d'oeuvre now. The
basically,
way that you're
almost like a ring pop type situation.
Okay,
I like it. I'm in.
I've seen it. I have seen these videos, and it looks kind of neat.
I saw one of an old man doing it. Like, if that guy can do it,
here's where I'm at. I don't know that I need this in my life. I don't know that this is definitively the way that I would choose to eat pineapple moving forward.
I probably wouldn't either.
But I don't know. It does kind of look cool.
I think one thing that it's very applicable to is, like, if you're trying to have a summer barbecue or something,
Yeah.
it would be a pretty cool way to display the pineapple on a fruit plate.
I don't know that I disagree with that. I think what I would say, though, is that, like, kind of the nice part about just cutting up a pineapple is it gets rid of all of the parts of the pineapple that you don't want to consume.
Right. Now, here, it's like eating a strawberry where you got to, like, bite all the way up to the
and
end.
get, like you have to wrap your fingers around the stem so that, like, the strawberry pulls off the stem.
Right.
I'm not opposed to trying it. I just don't know that it's going to be something I'm going to commit to after that. Are you nervous about whether or not it's going to work?
All right. So I was 100% sure this was going to work.
Yes.
After the commercial break, or during the commercial break, I was pulling on one of these, and it just fell off. I'm now, like, 90% sure it's going to work. But let's get rolling.
Okay, so step one is twisting
to
the stem
take
off.
this. I'm putting my hands on
Now,
the line for everyone, by the way.
Right, yeah, correct. This could
So
definitely ruin
I
your
have-
baseball career. There's no question about
I
it. You
have
might
to
never be the
take-
same after this moment. Didn't bring any
And
gloves or
you're
anything.
supposed to twist it off, like-
All right, so that no
All right, that
problem.
was pretty
stem twisted off.
All right.
Did you get all of the stem that you were supposed to get?
I think so.
I think
like
that's
that's
right.
that's flesh. Like, you
Yes.
could eat that. So I think we're good so
All
far.
right, so that's step one
Now-
in this hack.
Now I have to hit it against something. I'm going to use the stool. I don't want to hit this.
Is the stool hard enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
all right.
wood. We should be all
it's
right.
not. Yeah. All right. Very good. Now, how many times do you have to hit it?
The last lady that I saw, like the original viral video, she did it like 5 times.
And does it matter which part of the pineapple you hit?
The bottom. You
The
gotta go
bottom of the pineapple.
and then you roll
is
it like
what's supposed
this.
to loosen it up. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let's see. So he's gonna go 5 times. 4, 5. Oh, he's going more. He won.
That was for good measure.
One for the road.
Little bit of
Yes. All right. Now.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you notice anything different about? Yeah. Should we put paper towels down or something in this process?
Maybe should I go get a plate or
Yeah, I'll
something?
grab 'em.
All right. Griffin's gonna go get
The
paper
actual
towels.
rolling of the pineapple shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. So how? Wait. But before, how good do you feel about the process?
I
so
feel
far?
pretty good.
You think that shook up the pineapple the way that it needs to be shaken?
There's a
up?
little bit of juice on there, so like I'm
Okay.
95% sure it's
All
gonna
right.
work now.
All right. So now you roll the pineapple. How much?
So she started doing it, and then she said you have to do it pretty hard. She did it back and forth probably 10 times back and forth.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, you're getting in there. He's really pressing his hands down on this thing. This is like rolling out the cookie dough around Chris. You're feeling?
I'm feeling some loose.
You're
some
feeling
loose.
a little loose, like a long neck goose. So yeah, like that.
We're gonna
baby,
flip it
that's
over
what I
and
like.
get the other side.
All right, get the other side. All right, now this is the moment
All
of
right.
truth. You feel like you've rolled the pineapple enough.
I'm really pushing this thing.
Okay, all right. So why don't we, once you feel like you're there, why don't we put the pineapple on a plate?
Do that right now.
Right. And now, are you supposed to stand it up?
Oh boy,
That's what I've seen in the
She
video.
had it on the side. Let's
Okay,
stand it
in
up.
the
It'll
videos
look-
I've seen, because that's like the display part of it. In the videos I've seen, now you're going to pull a chunk of pineapple out, and how's it going? Oh, this is not good.
I'm rooting for it.
This is not.
Oh no! Don't tell me. Hold.
Oh,
We're gonna try a couple of different ones here.
Oh no! It took one life hack attempt for this to fail miserably. Okay.
What?
All right. Do you want to try to do anything in particular more?
Yes, I'm gonna hit
You
it.
wanna bang it on the
I'm
stool
gonna
a
bang it a
little
couple
bit
more
more.
times, and I'm gonna roll it again.
God, this is gonna be. Somehow it's even better that it's failing. Somehow, it's even better that it doesn't work the way that everybody said it was going to work. He's noticing the juice on the stool and feeling like.
What if I bang? Ooh, we're loose down here at the bottom.
All right, but is the problem that the little what are these stems? Is that what they're called? What are these things called?
They're weak. These little things are weak.
Is that the issue?
Pines? Would you call them the pines?
Pines? I've never.
You just call them spines. I like that. I think
Spines?
I don't know.
if spines is the answer here.
They're like a little.
They're just not strong enough in order to be able to.
They're not erect at all.
Yeah, and they're not erect. That is, a lot of us have those problems. You get to a certain age as far as pineapples.
That'll be the next life hack. Yeah.
Right.
The lady made it look so easy.
This is a miserable failure.
Do you need to like start from the top or like is there?
She did one from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this one's a little more solid. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the King Arthur.
Yeah, it's just. Oh, you think that somebody else has to pull the pineapple out?
Griffin, you want to pull one out?
It's the sword and the stone
Yeah,
situation
that's
that we
what it's
have
called,
going
sword
on,
and stone.
right? Like that only one person is capable of pulling the sword out of the stone, and then they're the king. I think is how it works. This does not feel like a life hack. This feels like I have been misled by the internet.
Do we have a knife in there? Because worst case, we just cut it up.
Well, that's what we're
going to
have to do. Yeah, we're still going to try the
Should I go get a knife real quick?
Pineapple. But I would like for us to try to see if we can make it work.
I would love for this to work, though.
You seem more inclined to just bail and say it's not going to work, and we're 0 for 1 at our attempts.
I'm like Jimmy Butler last night with the 3-pointers, man.
It's not a good night for old Jimmy Butler. The Nuggets behind for 3 from the first 3 quarters.
You need okay, maybe we blame Safeway here.
You think that this is Safeway's fault?
Those are some of the.
They're a fine establishment.
Oh, a great establishment, but those are weak spines.
Maybe,
they're not. They're like wilted.
I'm kind of with Carson. It's a faulty pineapple.
You think it's a faulty pineapple?
You ever had a pineapple that's good and ripe, and the spines they would actually hurt? Like, notice how I just dug my hand into that thing and it didn't hurt at all.
All right, I think that so this can still be good TikTok content, by the way, because you play somebody else's video and then us failing miserably afterwards, like. You guys are liars. This does not work. So, do you want to try banging it one more time? Do you want to?
Sure, we can go round 3.
I mean, I would like. Wow, that's words that Mrs. Clark has never heard.
All right. Let's give it one more try.
At this point, I am fast asleep. All right, one more attempt. One more shot.
All right.
What?
I'm gonna bang both sides.
Both sides of the pineapple.
I've only done this end right here.
All right. You think that maybe that'll help in some way? It's worth a shot. All right. Well, why not? Maybe you need to wear protective gloves when you pull.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to if I dig my fingernail in there.
Do you need to check when you purchase the pineapple? Do you need to check the spines to see if they would be strong enough? Like, is there a way of knowing that? What? Are we just getting pineapple juice everywhere?
This thing's just beat to hell at this point.
At least pineapple smells good.
I do love pineapple, but there's going to have to be a cleanup process here.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be some soap and water involved here.
All right. One more shot at it. Didn't we have plates? Wasn't the point to not put this directly down on the table? Like, wasn't that part of what we were doing?
The die's been cast at this point.
God's sake.
All right, here we go.
Well.
So bad.
So sad.
So bad.
This is so sad.
All right, should I go get a knife?
First one we ever tried. Maybe we should have attempted this at home first to make sure it worked before we did it on.
Yeah, it should have been a test pineapple.
I mean,
God, maybe we need to buy 2 pineapples.
There's 12 videos out there of pineapples working this way.
I hear you, but we don't know of all the videos of it not working. And if it's supposed to be a life hack, then we shouldn't be struggling this much. I believe we've done everything correctly.
Yeah, we did. We followed it to a T.
All right. Well, this is a big fail.
Yeah.
Fail. All right, go get a knife. All right. Go get a knife. We're going to cut up that pineapple and try some pineapple with Old Bay. I think it's Carson.
You think?
Can we just be honest? Like, I think it's him. I don't think he's good enough at this. I think
so what do we say to him when he comes back?
No, I think maybe we have to fire him. Honestly, I don't think we have a choice.
Do we do that when he comes back?
No, I think we likely should, because I still want to try the pineapple with the Old Bay. Like, I don't want him to take his pineapple.
So after the show.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, what we were talking about was the fact that everything's going great.
Yeah.
It's everything is going really, really well here, and Carson is now going to attempt to carve a pineapple with a butter knife, and then we will attempt to eat. I want to see how this works with you trying to cut this pineapple.
All right, hold on one sec, because I made some progress on this little piece right here. I want to show you what it was supposed to look like.
Okay.
And I got this little piece kind of going already.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna see if I can pull it out.
Yes. By the way, Dave, you did hear in there that Jackson Holliday, when he said the next 2 levels next year, he was talking about the major league. Like, that math works. That would mean the major league level by next year, as many of us have brought up. And I don't know why we would think otherwise. Like, why? What have we seen so far? That's why we keep asking the same question to the Jim Callises, the Carlos Colazos of the world. Like, is it crazy? No, it's not crazy.
It's supposed to look like this.
That's what a chunk of pineapple is supposed to be when you pull it from
maybe we missed.
The ladies was a little bigger, but...
So in these life
hack
hack
that doesn't
videos,
really seem like... That just seems like an annoying...
this is just annoyingly small.
Yeah, that's all that seems like.
Life hack videos, we're just missing a cut where they're off screen. They're using a knife and
right,
it out.
And they're making it
honestly
look
like that
right
would
out.
kind of make sense. All right, Griff, can I have some paper towels? We'll pass out some pineapples.
Well, yeah.
Let's
cut out a little bit more pineapple so we can do some pineapple and Old Bay. I prefer for mine to not have spine if possible, just so we can.
Now I'm gonna just do it normal.
Yeah, I don't. If we're not gonna do the life hack, then we kind of don't need the what do you call that outer core of the pineapple? What is that? The skin?
The rind, yeah.
Is it the rind? I never think of it.
This is a fruit expert.
Yeah, right. I don't. He doesn't know either. He's just He's talking out of his ass.
No, it's definitely the rind.
You don't know that. Find that out, though. I want to be an expert by the time the end of the show is over. I want to be able to answer the question. And yes, John in Little Rock, undoubtedly, a Maryland baseball coach is going to go to Alabama. Like that's
the rind. It is the rind.
It is the rind. Look at that. I would swallow my pride. I would choke on the rind, but the lack thereof would leave me empty inside. Swallow my doubt. Turn it inside out and find nothing but faith in nothing. Ooh, look at that. That is
looks delicious.
It is a meaty looking pineapple. I enjoy a meaty pineapple. Let me get in on that bad boy and then smother it in Old Bay and see how we feel about it. So, is the idea to totally cover it in Old Bay? Here's what I think we should do. I think you should give me 2 chunks, right?
Okay. You want to cut that
one? We'll go light Old Bay on, and the other we go smothered in Old Bay, right?
All
like
right.
that's the way to do it. Because you eat your corn smothered in Old Bay. Like you're not doing light Old Bay on corn, but so I want to kind of try both and see how it goes.
How is this the pineapple?
It's good pineapple.
Okay.
Solid pineapple.
Good pick then. So
shame it didn't work.
Yeah.
Hey, I made the shot this time, unlike yesterday when I missed from 3 feet away like I was Jimmy Butler.
It bounced around like 4 times.
God,
too.
it was sad to watch. It was disturbing to see it play out. We're just sitting here waiting for Carson to carve up a pineapple right now.
That's you, Griff, right
there.
Should we
talk about like the Orioles or like?
Well, I mean, we kind of covered that. Oh, I guess you'll do it in fighting words, but the Teofimo Lopez thing, I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah,
Teofimo
Teo won. Yeah.
No, the fact that he said he's retired.
Oh, really? That's what he said.
All right.
You're the fighting words guy.
Teasing the segment. Come on.
All right. Do you have 2 for yourself? All right. You have 2 little chunks. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go.
It was
so then
easiest.
sprinkle a little bit of Old Bay on one of them, and then smother the other one in Old Bay. Like absolutely kill it.
All
like
right.
so just a light sprinkling on one, right, and then the other one just absolutely.
All right. All right. There we go.
Like you're eating crabs on. Yeah. Go to.
Got that shot too.
Even his light sprinkling was healthy, which I appreciate. As
Full
a man who enjoys Old Bay, I don't really want to mess around with this. You said your father carries around.
Yeah, it's on his keychain.
I love that. God, I love that. That makes me so happy.
Puts it
All
on
right.
everything: Chinese food and spaghetti and just everything.
I'm telling you, we're gonna make this into a thing. We're gonna turn this into a TikTok show or something like that. Just trying random foods with Old Bay in the future. All right. You got it.
Going light?
So
going light first,
are we going heavy or light first? You
Let's
want to
do
go
light,
You want to
right?
go light first?
Sure.
All right. Let's see.
All right.
Bottoms up.
It's good. I like it.
It absolutely is a thing. Unquestionably.
I would actually eat this again.
Perfect.
I'm not even gonna. And like, I'm a pineapple connoisseur. I love pineapple. The only problem with pineapple is like, I like fruits where I don't have to go get a fork. And if you don't get a fork, you're inevitably going to have sticky-ass fingers, right? That's the only issue with pineapple, right? But in general, love pineapple. That improves pineapple. That's
really good.
Phenomenal. I mean, that's phenomenal. Did you take some pictures, by the way?
I'll take one right now.
Like, take picture of the smothered Old Bay on pineapple, please, so that we can share these out today. So hang on, before we douse that.
I was just examining.
Let's grade the lightly sprinkled on a scale of 1 to 10. Congratulations to Drew Nicholas on winning an NBA title. How many congratulations to Drew Nicholas on winning an NBA title do you give that?
Well, if I give regular pineapple, probably like a
regular pineapple is damn near.
I'm giving regular pineapple like an 8.8 out of 10.
I mean, the regular pineapple is damn near flawless.
That's probably 9.3.
It's unbelievable how that actually like genuinely improves pineapple.
It's really good.
It's incredible. I think that's a 9.5.
Yeah, I'll go even higher. I'll go at 9.8. Like
that's incredible.
Delicious.
All right, now this is the smothered in Old Bay.
This is like the real test.
You should, by the way, keep like you want to get it all sort of like roll that in there.
All sides.
All right, smothered in Old Bay pineapple. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. All right, too much.
Yep.
Too much.
Okay, that was a. I mean, it's still fine, but
too much.
It was just a
yes,
lot.
It's too much. That's a 6.
We had to do that though.
Too much. No, it's
exactly. We had to do.
We smothered those Pop-Tarts in Old Bay and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do both ways.
Yeah.
I'm not. So, final grades. The life hack 0.
Life hack did not work.
It is no life hack. It's nothing.
That's like 10 minutes we're never getting.
It was a borderline life hack to begin with. Like it was a. Oh God. Way too much. Way
too much of the Old Bay.
It's a sentence I've never said in my life. Much like Mrs. Clark saying round 3. Never said that in my life before.
You're just a little out of shape.
Doggy.
Just a little out of shape. You need to, get more conditioned.
I definitely put at least that much Old Bay on my corn, and it works better together.
It's got the butter mixed in too on the corn. Though.
Here's a wild card. I don't use butter when I put Old Bay on my corn.
Really?
That's good.
It's just Old Bay on the corn. I think if you have to put butter on your corn, you need better corn. I'm gonna be honest with you. The corn should be sweet enough that you shouldn't be putting butter on it. If you think that it's a vehicle for the Old Bay, dude, just keep rolling it in the Old Bay. You're gonna get plenty of Old Bay. Yes, there'll be more on the plate. I understand that.
That's a fair point.
But keep rolling it on the Old Bay.
You just lick the corn like a popsicle, don't you? And you're just looking.
I don't do that. No. Don't do that. Just eat the corn. And then I ask for another ear of corn. And then I ask for another ear of corn. And then I ask for another ear of corn. So the life hack's a 0. Lightly sprinkled Old Bay on pineapple. Unbelievable. I mean, absolutely, my God, make that part of your summer. Strongly sprinkled Old Bay on pineapple. Try it. Try it. Probably not the play.
We didn't expect that one to work, though.
No, we just needed to do it.
We had to do that.
All right. Have you thought about your next life hack attempt?
So there's a few that I saw. I've probably there's probably been 8 or 9 of them, but the only problem is that not all of them are easy to demonstrate.
That's the problem. You have to find one that
I found some great ones on I found a really great way to store your T-shirts and stuff in a drawer, but that just has no application.
You can bring in a drawer, I guess. You could take a
right,
drawer out of your dresser and bring it in.
I'll find a good one. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of them that I found that have been dang, that's actually really good.
The answer is no. That's a long way of saying no.
That's a long-winded way of saying no. I don't got one yet.
It's like when I watch a movie and all I think to myself is, so nothing then. That's what you had to say. It was nothing. It's a long way of saying no. No problem, but we need one for next Tuesday. All right? Okay. We need
there was one
show
that
and
was
tell life hack.
There was one that I saw that was it's also food related.
Preferably one that works.
Yeah, there was one that I saw that was food related that I thought was kind of interesting. But I don't know if we want to do food again, but we'll keep that as a surprise.
Whatever works. I would just like to attempt.
It's hot Cheeto related. It would actually be pretty good, I think.
Is it hot Cheeto and what was it that
Old Bay on hot Cheeto?
No. We had a hot Cheeto. It was hot Cheeto and cream cheese, I believe.
Yeah, that's the Cardi B snack, right?
Is that what it was?
It wasn't that, but
our former intern Papa Cass told us once that was her snack of choice, and brought it in.
Cheeto and cheese. And cream cheese?
And we were like, no way. And then we tried it, and we were like, okay, there's something there. That's not nothing. Speaking of food-related issues, RDT has told me that he is now available between 10 and noon on weekdays.
Oh.
It might require you being the one to make the prison pizza, right? And it's a complicated process, but I feel like you would have fun with it. I feel like you would be the person that could enjoy it.
Okay.
It starts with a bag of Funyuns and kind of goes from there.
Oh, is that where you could crush up ramen and the sausage and all that stuff?
You have to take anything that you could get at a prison commissary in order to make the prison pizza, and it's
heated up.
It doesn't look pleasant.
It's like a brick,
because
right?
you have to create the crust out of something that you can get in the commissary, and I believe the one that we found was a Funyuns based crust, So it might require you to do that, but I think
crush up some Funyuns.
Yeah, and then it's a whole thing.
A little bit of water, you make a little.
And then it's what again? It was I'll find the video again. There was a chick that had been in prison that did the video, and we were gonna base it off of that. And it was just all over the place. It was peanuts, pickles. It was anything that you could get, Cracker Jacks that you could put on a prison.
Peanuts and pickles alone.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. So I do think we need to coordinate with RDT, and if you can do that, then we'll make that work because he was the one that was supposed to eat it. I did also notice he shared yesterday on Twitter someone's doing a bit where they take 2 hash browns from McDonald's and put McFlurry between the hash browns to create a play on an ice cream sandwich.
I would eat that.
And I feel like we should make that a bet.
Okay.
I don't want to try that because I have not.
I'd try it for free.
I'm not against it either. I'm not.
Sounds delicious.
All right, talk to
RDT.
RDT.
It happened in front of me.
Talk to RDT. All right, talk to him. Because maybe we'll do it on a Tuesday. We can send Carson out to McDonald's during the show to get because the McFlurry, would have to be recent.
Fresh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in order for it to work.
Yeah.
So, but you have to like nail it because you have to get the hash brown. You almost have to arrive right at the moment they're changing over from breakfast.
Yeah,
to
that's
lunch.
like is it 11 o'clock that they change? Or they got all day breakfast now. Some of them.
Oh, do they? All right, whatever. You work into that.
I don't really eat
get in
McDonald's
touch with Arditi. Figure out when he could come in, and if that works for you preparing the prison pizza. All right. I can't spend like $100 on this, but I will help you. I will help you economically in putting this all together.
All right.
Right.
Appreciate it.
And then see if maybe on the same day we try the McFlurry ice cream sandwich.
Don't eat breakfast.
Why are we just doing? I don't know. I don't want to just try that. I got to make that a bet somehow. I'm not just signing up to try it. That's dumb. Why would I do that? I don't need that in my life. We make that a bet of
Might
some
need it
sort.
in your life.
Some sort of bet this week related.
I would definitely try that.
All right, well, you can.
Well,
That's
like
fine.
NBA draft bet.
See if you can
maybe?
come
I
in
don't know.
specifically on a Tuesday. No, it's got to be Orioles related if we're doing with Eric.
Okay.
Some sort of Orioles
Oh,
related
we're
bet.
betting with him. Okay, I thought you and I.
What in the hell just happened? That's not a good sign.
Everything started going south when that pineapple
Right?
came out.
What in the world? If you're with us,
We had a cursed pineapple.
If you're with us on video, then it looks like we just suffered a serious crash. We got to come up with a better
Had
solution.
the World Series earthquake in here.
Than just hoping that it continues to stay moving forward. We're going to have to work on that. That will be. That doesn't sound good if it can just fall apart in the middle of a show. God.
Probably on me because I was moving it back and forth while we were trying to watch.
All right. We good.
Yeah.
We covered everything we needed to cover. All right, very good. We'll try to get some of that video up on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. Yeah, if you can take that back. All right. When we come back in, we'll get a tidbit. We'll get Tubular to wind down for a Tuesday edition of GCR.
The All-America Senior Game powered by New Balance will be back at Johns Hopkins Homewood Field on July 29th. The most decorated girls and boys lacrosse players in the country have been invited to play in what is the premier lacrosse event of the year. Every college coach wants their players in this game, and if you dream of being in this game, you start by trying out for one of your regional underclass teams this summer. The best against the best. Get your tickets now at allamericalacrosse.com.
Are you a diehard O's fan looking for the perfect way to show your team spirit? Look no further than Birdland Sports. Birdland Sports is a small business run by fans for fans. They offer a wide variety of unofficial O's merchandise, from the Birds Are Coming tees to player cartoon shirts and more. And the best part? Their prices are more affordable than the big guys. So head to birdlandsports.com and grab your gear today. Show your support for the Birds with Birdland Sports.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the pipeline of talent still to come for the Orioles, diving in on last year's #1 pick Jackson Holliday and other top prospects like Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, Kobe Mayo, and more. Also inside, Todd Karpovich profiles Orioles pitcher Kyle Gibson, and Bo Smolka breaks down what progress would mean for the team's 2022 draft picks in their second pro season. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
If you miss anything on the show, don't forget that you can watch full episodes at youtube.com/pressboxonline, and you can download podcasts on Apple, iTunes, Amazon, and Grindr. Wait, did I say Grindr? I don't think that you would find it on Grindr. Not that I know it's on Grindr or anything, I swear. On second thought, you know what? I don't care what you think. Here's Glenn.
Ravens minicamp underway out in Owings Mills. John Harbaugh tells reporters 100% everyone showed up for minicamp, which it's mandatory, so that makes sense. Only a couple of notes. I guess Odell Beckham is fully cleared, but they say they're still going to ramp him up, so he won't be doing everything this week. Rashad Bateman apparently got a cortisone shot, so he's not really going to be doing much this week. And Pepe Williams sidelined. Demarion Williams. Is Demarion Williams Pepe Williams? Yes, that's what. Yeah, right.
Sam Williams.
God, we kind of just forgot what his name was because we just went with Pepe. Pepe Williams sidelined until at least the start of training camp, according to Jeff Zrebiec's Twitter and John Harbaugh talking to reporters today. Not everywhere where they've had 100% attendance for mandatory minicamp. In Buffalo, they are missing Stephon Diggs, which seems significant.
He's holding out for DeAndre Hopkins, right?
Until they trade for DeAndre Hopkins, until they sign DeAndre Hopkins, he won't show up. It's weird that because like Stephon Diggs just got a contract last offseason, so like I don't think it's money. People are pointing out that he expressed some frustration at the end of their playoff loss to Cincinnati, but like, I mean, to not show up for minicamp over that, I don't know what that would be about. The quote that's going around right now is Sean McDermott saying he's very concerned, which then makes you wonder, like, have they been in touch with them? Are they worried? Like, I have no idea what to make of that. If Stephon Diggs, for whatever reason, has decided he's unhappy in Buffalo, and I don't know what that would be about. I mean, always seem to be enjoying the area, being a part of that
having
whole
Josh
thing.
Allen throw him the football.
It's weird that would suddenly come up. Certainly, there's no world where he'll be in the mix for the Ravens, which is a bummer because we've all always wanted to see Stephon Diggs play for the Ravens, but they're not going to be. If somehow Stephon Diggs ends up on the market, and we're about 12 steps ahead of ourselves in that process. The Ravens, that would not be a play for them, like to be giving up when they've already addressed wide receivers significantly, to then be giving up draft assets at a time where the draft picks are all the more important because you just spent money on Lamar Jackson. That's not going to happen, but wouldn't hurt to get him out of the AFC if possible. Certainly wouldn't bother me if all of a sudden, he was in the line for. I'm trying to think of what NFC contender could use more at the wide receiver position.
The
problem
Lions.
The Vikings.
Yeah, the Lions, especially with Jameson Williams suspended to start the season. The problem is, we're saying NFC contender, but we're kind of doing a wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing as we say it because. Yes, they absolutely could win the NFC North. Does anybody really believe the Lions can win the Super Bowl this year? That's the you can almost make an argument that anybody's an NFC contender, but then you can also make the same argument that no one is an NFC contender outside of Philadelphia and San Francisco. Do you really buy into how many teams not named Philadelphia or San Francisco do you really believe are capable of being Super Bowl contenders in the NFC?
None.
That's where I am. Yeah. Again, you're squinting on Detroit and saying they really came on last
Dallas
year.
Too,
But, I mean, we've been doing that for an eternity. Yeah. I guess if Justin Fields has a Lamar Jackson-like leap in year 2, then maybe that he could be that good that he could make the Bears. They did. We have not paid a ton of attention to it, but quietly adding Chase Claypool and quietly adding DJ Moore this offseason, and then. Who was the linebacker that they signed to replace Roquan Smith? That was a pretty good. They added an off-ball linebacker. Oh God, they might have even added 2 that you were like, okay, I can see it. Hang on a second. T.J. Edwards. They had T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. I'm not trying to suggest all of a sudden the Bears' defense because they had other problems defensively, and I know their offensive line was a big issue that. Everybody would, but they do have a mobile quarterback, so that helps. It would require Justin Fields taking a significant step forward as a passer. Lamar Jackson, year 1 to year 2 jump as a passer for this to be viable. But if he did, I've said all along, I think they're more intriguing than people are suggesting that they are because there is a next level. Jared Goff is always going to be limited to, you can say he was outstanding last season, and he was. But there's a limit. It's like a Kirk Cousins thing. You're not going to get a next level. He's going to go win you games on his own. He's going to play really well, and you put good talent around him, you can get a lot out of that. Kirk Cousins got to an NFC Championship game, but to win a Super Bowl, it's really hard for me. It's really hard for me. Now, again, I didn't know that Matt Stafford was going to be able to do that either, for what it's worth, and clearly he did. So. It's not impossible, but tough one. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. The Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
JT Realmuto, he had a cycle last night for the Phillies, their first cycle since 2004, when this current MLB manager, hit for the cycle for them. Do you remember who it was?
2004?
Yeah.
Gabe Kapler?
Gabe Kapler.
No.
Boone.
No.
For the Phillies?
For the Phillies.
2000 current manager played for the Phillies in 2004. Man.
I'm just trying to think of managers that played recently.
Alex Cora wasn't a Philly.
No.
Was AJ Hinch a Philly at any point? I don't think so.
He manages a red team.
Manages a red team? This is the problem. I know we just did this, and maybe I just don't remember that.
Think of the red team.
Right, I know the Reds, and I can't think of who their manager is. That's the problem. Like David Bell, is he the manager of the Reds?
Yes, David Bell.
I only know that because we just did this.
He's the last Philly to hit for the cycle. He also the first catcher in 12 years since 2011 to hit for the cycle. Last catcher to do it was Milwaukee Brewers
in 2011.
Craig Counsell.
No,
it would have been that would have been too early for it to be Grandal, right?
No, it's not Grandal.
How would it have been in 2011?
Just give it to you. George Kataris.
Definitely was the next one I was going to name.
George Kataris. Hopefully won't be the last catcher to do it in the
Perry Hall
near
High School
future.
2001 grad George Castaneris was.
So somebody tweeted out the teams leading with the most ninth inning strikeouts this season. Would you like to guess who number one is?
Like pitching wise?
Yes.
I bet the Orioles are in that.
Yeah. They are number one by 33.
Yeah.
They have a 33 strikeout lead on the next two closest teams. So the Orioles have 97
I believe,
ninth inning strikeouts.
So I think it's ESPN does a Cy Young indicator. And hang on a second. Let me make sure I have this right. Yes, they have a Cy Young predictor. So rank right now the top 10 Cy Young candidates in the American League according to ESPN's Cy Young predictor.
Framber Valdez.
Framber Valdez is not on
McClanahan, number one.
McClanahan is definitely number one.
Batista's
number 3.
What about No Cano?
No Cano. I can give you the right because the point was getting Batista.
Yeah.
Eovaldi's 2, Eflin 4, Joe Ryan 5, John Gray 6, Garrett Cole, Jordan Romano, Sonny Gray, and Christian Javier.
Where's Kyle Gibson?
Felix, it's like so close. Tyler Wells, the .85 whip, maybe should be in that conversation. Felix Batista, number 3 on ESPN's Cy Young predictor.
It's just
going to
be like 2016 all over again, though.
By the way, Mitch Keller leads the NL Cy Young predictor with Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen. So
was Ohtani on the?
Not on the Cy Young predictor.
Really?
Nope.
He's third in Major League Baseball with strikeouts.
All right.
102.
All right.
Nolan
he also
Jones.
like even the game when it faced the Orioles, he struck out, but he gave a bunch of runs.
5 or 6. Yeah.
So
okay,
really
get to the
good.
point.
He got the win.
Get to the point.
Nolan
Wins
Jones,
don't matter, dog.
He pitched in well enough for his team to win
Shut
the game.
up.
Nolan Jones hit a 472-foot walk-off home run on Sunday. It's the longest StatCast tracked walk-off home run since StatCast started tracking home run distance, 2015. The rest of the top 5, do you want to try to guess?
C.J. Crone.
Not C.J. Crone. I'll give it to you. Byron Buxton hit a 469-foot walk-off homer. Mark Reynolds in 2016.
All right.
Hit a 464-foot walk-off homer.
I don't remember. Was he was he still with the Orioles in 16?
No.
Yeah.
Who was he with? Was that the Diamondback days?
No, he was with the Diamondbacks before he was with the Orioles. So where did he go after that? He went to 16 years with Colorado.
Okay, I guess that checks out then. Nolan Jones, obviously, with the Rockies.
Yeah, it makes sense. Sure.
Kyle Schwarber hit a 463-foot walk-off homer, and Salvador Perez in 2021. Those are your longest.
Salvador Perez hit basically a 460-foot home run the other day.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So
we've forgotten about it because of Gunnar Henderson's home run, but damn, was that
the fact that
smash.
he's still doing it is good for him,
nuts.
man. Good for him.
Yeah,
it was a fun moment though when he got on base on set, and it was early in the game, and it's somebody in the top of the road, and I just didn't remember who it was that had been at the plate. And my sons get very excited about the idea of stolen bases. Like they get super excited about. I think it's because it's like stealing. Like they're like, you're allowed to steal. That's cool. So I remember my 8-year-old saying, is he going to try to steal? And it was like, I don't remember what the circumstances were in the game on Saturday, but I was like, well, that would make sense. Then I was like, wait, who's on first base? Perez? No, he is not going to try to steal. That will not be occurring.
No. That would have been cool if he did just.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great, right?
Nikola Jokic, he joins the 50 club. So this is playoff points, rebounds, assists to average over 50 for the entirety of the NBA postseason in a single postseason.
If you combine the average of his points, assists, and rebounds, the number is over 50.
He became the
eighth. God, he's as close to 60.
Yeah, he became the 8th player to do this. He averaged 52.9.
I thought it was he really slacked off the last couple
little
of
bit.
games.
Yeah. He became the 8th player to do this. Can you name the other 7 to be in the 50 club?
Salvador Perez has how many stolen bases for his career?
13.
12 years.
26.
You guys are way overshooting.
Really?
9.
4.
6.
Okay.
6 stolen bases for Salvador Perez's career. Which, frankly, I'm amazed at 6. All right, 50 in the entire playoffs.
Yes.
Tim Duncan.
Not Tim Duncan.
I mean,
Shaq.
Not Shaq.
These guys don't get assists.
Shaq was
He
like
has so many points and rebounds.
Yeah,
and then
Shaq
you
was
just
like
get
in
a
like the
couple.
48, 49 range, so he did
That is pretty freaking remarkable considering it probably involved 2 assists.
Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robertson, not.
I mean, you associate him with triple doubles. I'm thinking more like James Harden.
Not James Harden.
Kawhi Leonard.
Not Kawhi Leonard.
Jason Kidd.
Not Jason Kidd.
Westbrook.
That's a little surprising.
Yeah. Not Westbrook.
Boy.
Steph Curry just
not
for
Steph.
So LeBron.
LeBron did do this in 2018.
Durant.
Kevin Durant, not on this list. Not in the 50 club.
Larry Bird.
Not Larry Bird.
Magic Johnson.
Not Magic Johnson. They did have to make the finals, which I guess.
Oh, well, you maybe
okay.
should have mentioned that. Well, I mean, but most of these guys.
Most of
these guys did.
Kobe.
Kobe on the list. Kareem is on this list in 1974.
Hakeem Olajuwon
joined the club. Not Hakeem.
Wilt
did this twice. 1964, 1967.
Julius Erving.
Julius Erving did this in 1976.
Okay.
Made the final. Kevin Garnett.
Not Kevin Garnett.
Drexler.
Not Claude Drexler.
You said Dr. J.
David Robinson.
Not David Robinson.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell did this 4 times. The most of anyone. Wilt and Russell, the only ones to do this twice. But
so
Russell
we got
did it
3
4
left.
times. That is correct.
Moses Malone.
1, 2, yep. Not Moses Malone.
Elgin Baylor, because it's always Elgin Baylor.
It is indeed Elgin Baylor.
Look at that.
1962.
Always Elgin Baylor.
Just made the cutoff, 50.7.
So we're missing. You said we're missing 2.
Missing 2.
Yeah, you're missing 2.
All right, give me something.
One of them did it in the last 5 years. Last 5 finals.
In the last 5 finals.
The other one did it in 1960s.
Last 5 finals. So Giannis.
Not Giannis.
Booker.
Anthony Davis.
Not Anthony Davis. Not Devin Booker. The more Mount Rushmoreian player from the last 5 years, still playing.
LeBron? We said LeBron. Literally the first one I said, dude.
Yeah.
Like the first one we got right. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, LeBron.
Okay, so we
Did I
got.
check that off for you? Okay.
So we got 2 more,
You have
right?
No, we have one more.
Yeah, one more.
From the 60s.
Yes.
Bob Pettit.
Not Bob Pettit.
Jerry West.
Jerry West in 1965, 51.6.
All right, very good. There was only one sports question. By the way, trivia was a bloodbath. It was like the finals all over again last night. We were in first place at halftime.
So does like the
I think we
season
got
restart?
one I think we got one question correct in the second half. We could use some, if you know things, we could use some help on our Monday night. You want to come out and play Monday night trivia? By all means, come out and play Monday night trivia with us. If you got it, we need like Shakespeare, we need geography, we need.
I read Romeo and Juliet.
We need things covered that I
Merchant of Venice.
I read Hamlet. We could team up on that.
What brand name is the Italian phrase for "you're welcome"?
Versace.
We were the only team in the bar that didn't get this right, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Ferrari.
No. Ferrari.
Ciao. No.
So I actually I started by saying, I bet it's ragu or prego. Like, I bet it's one of them, right? Because, like, they're Italian phrases and it's Italian food. And then I said, well, but Spanish is de nada, so is there a di something? And John Proctor was like, what about DiGiorno? And I was like, okay, I'll listen to that. And we were the only people in the bar that got it wrong. It was prego. Prego was. So I had the idea.
How do you just know that?
But apparently it's something people know, man. I don't know. Apparently it's something people know. What were the other ones we got wrong? Oh, what's the second biggest city in the Netherlands?
I guess Amsterdam's the biggest.
Yes, obviously.
So that would make
And again, after I heard it, I was like,
Budapest?
Right.
Is that in the
No,
Netherlands?
it's definitely not in the Netherlands. All right. Nope. We don't need you on the trivia team, Carson. Thank you.
Second biggest city in
Rotterdam.
yes, Rotterdam.
What form of poker is named after an American city and involves players having 4 cards in their hand?
American city. So Texas is a state.
Yes, correct. You had the same conversation.
There are cities called Texas. I give up.
Yeah. As it turns out, you would have been of no service to us whatsoever.
Kansas City Hold'em poker.
Omaha is apparently what.
I was pretty close.
Omaha is what it's called. The final last night was the only sports-related question of the night. So that was a real kick in the pants for me. And name the only ever host country of a Summer Olympics to not win a gold medal in the Olympics they hosted.
Jeez.
Spain in Barcelona.
No.
Qatar never hosted the Olympics.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like every country kind of like stumbles into a medal. I feel like now Australia would have won a gold when it was in Sydney.
Probably won a bunch in swimming.
Yeah.
They tend to do very well in swimming. Have you ever heard
did
of
Germany
Ian
just like
Thorpe,
not
the
get one
torpedo?
time? Did Germany just
not Germany?
Who would host and not win?
We were between
Morocco.
We were between 2 countries. We were between 2. Mexico and Canada were the 2 that we were between. And nobody in the bar got it right. So if we had just gotten it right, we would have won.
Wow.
Despite how terrible we were in the second half.
Was it Mexico then?
It was Canada. We went with Mexico.
Canada never won a gold medal.
In Montreal in 1976, I believe it was. And I said that. I was like, all right, wild card. I know it's a big country, but Montreal is maybe Canada just not good at summer sports. Like, are they just all of their athletes are hockey players and, curlers? And is it possible that they're just not good
skating
at summer sports? And we were struggling because I didn't know. I was just putting it out there. Proctor was like, well, all they would really need is like 1 track and field. I'm like, I know, but like that's all that Mexico would need, like Canada. Man. Canada was the answer. That was a real barn burner for us. All right, here's
long season, right? So
we were in 5th place last night. Not a great start. Tubular is brought to you by PressBoxOnline.com/offers. PressBoxOnline.com/offers. We're offering you, new sports bettors, the best sign-up bonuses and promos from the 7 legal online sports books here in Maryland. Go to PressBoxOnline.com/offers right now and get offers like up to $150 in bonus bets from DraftKings after you place your first $10 bet, or up to $1,250 in bonus bets from Caesars. Time's limited. Get the best offers from all of the sports books. Go to PressBoxOnline.com/offers and sign up today. Orioles, Blue Jays, game 1 of a 3-game set tonight. Chris Bassett, Dean Kramer, 7 o'clock. So they're not doing 6:40 anymore, even though I think schools technically don't get out until tomorrow, right?
That is true, yeah.
So 7 o'clock. So that's a bummer because I was really enjoying those 6:40 first pitches. They were great for me.
They stopped doing it I think the last week of May, didn't they?
They didn't do it on the weekend, but I thought the midweek games were still 6:40.
At least. Not, I don't know,
whatever, yes.
Yeah, whatever.
That's a great point. We're spending too much time on this innocuous topic. Anyway, that's on Masson 2 this evening for game 1 of a 3-game set. TNT for game 5 as the Golden Knights try to close out the Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final. That's at 8 o'clock. No simulcast on TBS. They've been doing it on both, not on tonight because TBS has Yankees-Mets.
Is it on True TV?
I don't know. I have no idea. NBC Sports Washington Twitter for the Mystics and Fever at 7. Find the rest of the baseball at GlennClarkRadio.com. CBS Sports Network, Atlanta Dream, New York Liberty at 8. Seattle Storm, Phoenix Mercury at 10. USA for WWE NXT tonight at 8. Some non-sports highlights?
Not a whole lot. America's Got Talent on NBC. Deadliest Catch, new episode on Discovery. And Amy Schumer's got a new special out on Netflix called Emergency Contact.
All right. Very good. Thanks to a lot of people today. Thanks to Jackson Holliday. Thanks to Dennis Martinez, Jena Antonucci, as well as to Caleb Joseph. We'll get all of it up in the greatest hits section of the
Oh, my God, it's so good.
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. That said, on the program tomorrow.
Should be making a stop at Norfolk.
Oh, right. Do we know if it's...
It should be. I'm waiting on confirmation.
All right. Stuff and things?
Drew won't be in tomorrow, so yeah, stuff and things.
Are we just not doing Wednesdays anymore?
I'll talk to you.
We're not doing a new day for Drew. We're not.
Okay.
We're not. We got to get that straightened out somehow. All right, Carson, you're on social.
That's right, at Carson Ware.
Follow at Glenn Clark Radio on TikTok. Carson's going to be. We're going to get moving on that in the next week or so. We're going to get
the
moving.
Wheels
on
are
some more.
like this. We're looking.
We're
get on a 95
sometime. We're going to
soon.
get moving on that. Thanks, everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, the Baltimore Orioles, Glory Days Grill, Royal Farms, Costas Inn, All-American Lacrosse, Birdland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin, at Griffin_Bass is how you follow him on Twitter, at Glenn Clark Radio, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Have a great Tuesday night. Go Birds. Duke sucks.